soul like the rhymes on this beat. And if it ain't about the knowledge, then I'm ready for beef. Boy, you know I'm from the shy, ain't no fucking with me. Ain't no ducking the G, and I ain't talking no gang. I'm talking number 7 manifest, the mystery's man. For them intellectual minds, and cheers up your spine. That's that kundalini rising, trying to free up your mind. Yeah, my energy real, that's why I'm overprotecting. Mix the knowledge with the wisdom, hope you understand it. 3 keys to being conscious, hope you get the message. Anything I touch, boy, best believe I bless it. Mentally in a case, but physically in a booth. Breaking mental curses, all I need to show is the proof. From negative to positive is what I came to do. Yeah, I'm knowledge of God, and I'm addicted to the truth. Shia, baby, talk to me.
No. Inside, what's going, my boy?
Chilling. What's good, knowledge? Time to
Peace,
get
guys.
it.
Peace to the guys, man. You know us, man. You know we get together on these light deals, man. But I'm gonna have to go down the rabbit hole again today, man. You feel me? I got the we gonna tap into the fourth dimension. What you got over there moving, my boy?
Oh, my bad. I'm sitting there messing with Snap. Look, hey, let's get back, bro. Let's get back. You know what
That
I'm
boy,
saying?
you know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
I'm about to pull the rabbit out the hole. You know what I'm saying? You know, since we keep going down these rabbit holes, I'm trying to pull the
Hey,
rabbit out.
you right. I'm glad you just said that. Now that you said that, right, it gave me
Uh,
an idea.
uh,
So when I do my I'm gonna just start making them like the rabbit hole run deep or rabbit hole whatever whatever I come up with, and I'm gonna
mm,
have like some animation made. You feel me? To where that rabbit is coming, jumping down the going into the rabbit hole. You feel me? Taking the
uh,
red pill, like he could be taking the red pill, then jump down into the rabbit hole. That shit'll be cold.
yeah. Gotta have good little context and visuals. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are 15% verbal, 85% nonverbal. Not everybody, but a lot of these people on YouTube like they visuals. So I need to up my visual game too. You know what I'm saying? Put some stuff together.
Yeah, you definitely when you do that, because you got to think, bro, we in new times. Like people want to see stuff. You feel me? Like people want to be tapped in tune with. You know what I'm saying? Who they tapped in tune with. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to just be not doing nothing. You feel me? So you got to have something you into. Hold on. Yeah. So I want to. It's this video. It's this video that I seen. It was this third. Remember we was talking about dimensions and shit.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So, so I had was looking into it. I came across this video of this. I came across this video of this what you call it this 13-year-old little boy like breaking down dimensions. And when I play the video, you can stop me wherever. You feel me? Like if you got questions, like stop me wherever, because breaking down dimensions is kind of, we have to understand what dimensions we even talking about. When we say dimensions, we thinking of like these different like places and all this other stuff, but we don't even know how the dimensions are even set up in order for them to even overrule. Remember, I told you back in the day, like an ant, like ants and shit, they run parallel, like
Hmm.
horizontal, like they don't go up and down, like they just go like bugs. You feel me? Like they just go parallel to the line, the walls, or whatever. Like they don't got the 3D like us. We 3D, we can up, down, left, right. Like so, I was saying that like the fourth dimensional beings can migrate within a with from 4D to 3D. so they can manipulate this reality. So if we
Hmm.
don't even know that they can manipulate this reality, then you don't understand the concept of dimensions. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
And then like it's like a two-dimensional being can't see a three-dimensional being, just like a three-dimensional being can't see a fourth dimensional being. But even
Now
though they
we
can
talk.
interact, you know what I'm saying? Just like when I was
But see,
explaining, like,
but no, 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 no.
go ahead, go
We
ahead.
can't say we can't say a three dimensional being can't see a two dimensional being because what if a two dimensional being? Damn, hold on, gang. Click the wrong damn button. Hold
It's
on,
all good.
what happened to my presentation? Oh, so look, a one dimensional. I mean, because see, if ants and stuff can run two dimensional, then we can see those.
Mhm.
We can see two dimensional, but can 2D see us? I don't know. Let's check it out. What you think?
All right, so it's funny what you explaining. So it's a scientist guy from back in the day named Carl Sagan, and he basically explained what you explaining. He basically used a sheet of paper and called them Mrs. and Mrs. Flat. That a three-dimensional object will only appear like a circle or square, even though it's a cube. So if you put a cube through a two-dimensional piece of paper, it will only appear as a rectangle to those people, even though it's a cube.
Break that down again. You fucking
Yeah, yeah, I know people don't be expecting when I do that shit. I
yeah,
know.
I had
I
to know.
got you, bro.
Hold on,
I
bro.
got you. And that little
Look,
eye. So
learning the dimensions, like I know we before I let you finish, hold on. I know we in a 3D, three dimensional, right?
yeah, right, correct.
Right. So we in 3D, then the 4D can manipulate the 3D. That's where I'm
Well,
stuck at. What was you
well, hold
saying?
up, hold up. So check this out, right? You can consider us 3D, three-dimensional beings, but then you got to add two more, space and time. So then you can consider us fifth-dimensional beings when you add space and time. But okay, now let me go back to the other one. So you got this guy named Carl Sagan, right? He's a scientist guy who used to come on these little television programs explaining different science stuff. And one day he was explaining about different dimensions and stuff. So he took a flat sheet of paper representing 2D, two-dimensional, only height and width or whatever, right? So basically, he was like, you got Mr. and Mrs. Flat who live on this two-dimensional plane, but you got a three-dimensional being, which is like a cube, that tries to interact with Mr. and Mrs. Flat on
Slow
this
down, slow
two-dimensional.
down, slow down, slow down, slow down.
I got you.
The
Oh yeah,
two,
yeah, yeah.
go back
So
to the go back to the two dimensional.
okay, so the two-dimensional, you got two people drawn on a two-dimensional sheet of paper. So you got a sheet of paper which represents 2D. So when you draw Mrs. and Mrs. Flat up there, they only in two dimensions, right?
Yeah.
So then now a three-dimensional object wants to interact with the two-dimensional beings, right? So if that, like, let's say a cube wanted to interact with Mr. and Mrs. Flat, how you explained it. When you try to put that cube on a piece of paper, they will only be able to see it as a square. They wouldn't be able to see the three-dimensional cube. They will only be able to see a square of it.
Why though?
Because they only, okay, look at it like this, right? In a two-dimensional world, they only have two dimensions, right? So the third dimension can't be expressed in that dimension. So it would only look like a square instead of being the cube that it actually is, if that makes any sense.
Right, right.
And that's still not a very good explanation. And I think he probably about to explain some of that to a certain extent in his own way. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's get into because that one's a little tougher. You know what I'm saying? I'm
It is,
basically
but
mhm.
no, no, no. See, listen, we only 10 minutes in, but I don't want to,
Yeah,
be
yeah,
thirsty. But what I'm saying is like we got different we got different dimensions, but we have to understand the dimensions. And if I'm a two-dimensional being, if you write a square, I mean a cube, I will only see it as a square, is what you're telling me.
yeah, yeah. So like if a cube or something three-dimensional tries to enter the two-dimensional world, it would like, or let's say if you tried to stick a cube to a piece of paper, right? Only a square is going to be visible. Like either you'll be putting a cube on top of the paper or through the paper, but literally only a square will be shown in that piece of paper because the other dimensions can't ain't there to be able to be expressed and described.
Oh yeah. Let's break this down.
All right,
Cause
I got
look,
Craft food
look,
in
that's
New
what
York and Philadelphia and Paris.
mine.
DocuSign lets me take care of the
I'm
business
seen to
side.
deal
I
with
can get
somebody who has some type of knowledge on it. So we could be able to build properly and understand what the dimensions and the shit is, and maybe we could see the world for what it really is,
you. Yeah,
not what it's supposed and not what is deemed to be. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like this,
Exactly.
bro, this dude is 13 years old. Damn, I need to subscribe to this one. Look, 1.5 million views, bro. It's crazy.
Imagine that this folder is a dimensional plane. Now, assuming that it is no height and no depth, what would this mean? It would mean that it's a one-dimensional world. So if, hypothetically, an organism was living inside of it, it would only be able to move in a
Right,
linear
right.
path forward and backward.
Look, just like the game that when we used to play Atari and shit,
Pong. You talking about Pong?
the little poop poop,
Yep.
the vertical things go up and down, and these just go left and right. But
Yeah. That.
that's two dimensional. That's two dimensional.
Hmm.
That's two dimensional. He talking about one dimensional. Like if it was a living organism inside of there, and it's only on a flat plane, one dimension, it would just go left and right. That's the
True.
only way it will be able to go because there's boundaries in that dimension. You see what I'm saying?
True.
Let's. If you want me to stop it too, bro, just let me know.
I got you. I
Straight
got you.
line. Now, if we go to the second dimension, we have two dimensions. We have width and we have length. So hypothetically, if an organism lived inside of here, then it would be able to move up, down, left, right, and anywhere else in between. And a two-dimensional world is comprised of an infinite series of one-dimensional worlds stacked upon each other. Just as our three-dimensional world, which has depth and length and height, is comprised of an infinite series of two-dimensional worlds. So this now that I have stacked many folders upon each other, we have three dimensions. We have depth, we have length, and we have width. Now what happens if you keep going on from here on out? We would have a four-dimensional world. But what exactly is the fourth dimension? In order to understand this, we need to understand how dimensions are perceived. We live in the three-dimensional world, but despite that, we actually view things to be two-dimensionally. Take a perfect sphere, for example. If you're looking at a sphere, it looks just like a regular two-dimensional circle. The only way that you can tell it's an actual sphere instead of a circle.
Hold on. So you telling me a circle is 2D?
That one's up for debate right there. Is a circle one dimensional? Is it two dimensional, or is it?
I'm finna Google it right now.
Now, let me tell you what a circle possibly is. It's the infinite dimensions.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nope. An example of a 2D shape is a rectangle or a circle, bruh. And they tell us the circle is the most perfect. You know what I'm saying? The most perfect shape because
exactly.
it's from one point to the next point. Like it's a circle, bro. But
Something else that I wanted to say, because it's funny that you stopped it right there. Inside my head, he explained the dimensions, right? But just like when I was explaining space and time, those aren't dimensions that can be measured with like geometry and geometric shapes. There's more dimensions than just the geometric shapes that we see around us. So when you
so
say, let's
do you think there's a dimension where it's just mental? It's just
So yeah, that's on the realm of what I'm saying. Like you got the okay, let's say the mental dimension, but okay, time doesn't exist, but what time actually is that we don't understand perfectly, that's a dimension. What space is, even though everything is connected and everything
I
is
thought time,
separated.
But time ain't real though.
Yeah. That's what I said. Whatever the we use as a measurement for something that's going on that we don't understand. Whatever the real thing is, that's a dimension. You get what I'm saying?
So look, we use just like okay, just like for instance, we use time to measure the sun.
Yeah.
So how can that be a dimension if humans made it?
I get that part. What I'm saying is like our understanding what time is, it's off. But there's something, there's a process. Like instead of saying time, let me call it the process of things happening. That's a dimension.
What do you mean? There's no shapes in that.
Exactly. That's what I'm
You're
saying.
you're listen. You're trying to form an ideology around your own perceived concepts. What I'm trying to break down is the actual dimension. So if
Nah.
hold on,
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
like our square right here, you have a square right here. This square is 2D.
Mhm.
If we are in 3D, we can manipulate the 3D, the 2D, the 1D, but we cannot manipulate the 4D because it's something that we don't know. We have not tapped into something yet. That's why they were saying the fourth dimensional beings are the fallen ones and they are evil because they are able to manipulate our reality. And if we don't know who we are and understand what life is and concepts and tesseracts and all this other shit, we not gonna understand this. These people, that's why they tell you the rabbit hole run deep. The rabbit hole probably don't even run deep, but it's probably so fucking deep because they didn't put so many lies and lies on top of lies, and there's so many layers to get in the middle of this hole, down there to this hole. You feel me? When we
Yeah.
find out this new information.
I think what they do on level one, they'll tell you half the truth and lie about half the truth. Level two, keep doing the same thing. So by the time you find out all the truths, it'd be contradicted to the real truth because they don't told you half a lie. You see what I'm saying? But the
Yeah.
reason why I came up with that dimensional thing, because you said let's look at dimensions for what they actually are. So when we look at dimensions, we look at it as measurements made by man through geometric shapes, right? But we know geometric shapes are only a part of what we exist in. So that means there are other dimensions that aren't measured in geometrical shapes. You got how I came up with that?
No, you got to
Oh,
run that.
oh okay. I got it. I got it. Right. Breathing. Right. We breathe in air. Right. That's not a geometrical shape.
What is?
Okay, you know how we breathe in air, right? The process of us breathing in air. That's not a geometrical. That's not a geometrical measurement, but it exists.
But it's not a dimension, bro. Listen, that exists within the third D, the 3D dimension. We talking about shapes.
Yeah.
We
Oh.
talking about how the 4D is able to manipulate. Listen, if any dimension you above that you're on, you're able to manipulate the dimension beneath you.
Mhm.
Put it in simplest plain terms. So if we're able to manipulate this dimension, then how do we understand the dimension before us? I mean, the dimension next, the fourth dimension or the fifth dimension. Like that's what I'm trying to get break the layers of understanding because it's different powers and energies that go into these things. Just like the ocean, is a different dimension. Now that is a dimension. You see what I'm saying? I
Now,
don't know what dimension. I don't know what level. I'm not talking about. Oh, now, when I say the ocean, I'm not talking about shapes. I'm talking about the literal physical place. You know what I'm saying?
all right. So let me go back to the one you explained. You said now about the mental. Now is that a different dimension? Now think about it like this. Now our physical body is made up of height, width, and depth, right?
Yep.
So our physical is already three dimensions, right?
Right. Right.
So our mind, which isn't one of those three, is like a fourth dimension. And then what you say that the fallen ones can incarnate in man's dreams or mind. Their fourth dimension. Hey, look. See, I
So look. So
appreciate.
look.
Yeah. Go.
No. 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 No.
Let's
No.
break this
Look.
shit
Look.
down.
Look. That's good breaking down. So look. So
Mhm.
what I'm saying is this. That's great. That's great because if we know that they can incarnate in man's dreams, meaning they are in the fourth dimension, they are able to manipulate man's reality and man's dreams. So why would you believe in anything that comes to you in your dreams?
See me on personal experience. I know about the being able to control dreams. So like I believe majority of the time you control, but then again they be stuff that hits people's dreams. That's not like some stuff you seen on TV, nothing you read in the book. And I think when it goes to that weird type of dreaming, that's when those type of entities or those type of conscious beings from a different dimension are invading basically the airwaves of your mind. You get what I'm saying? And they say the devil, the adversary, is the prince of air, too. Besides
So look,
being,
that go back to, not to cut you off. Damn.
hmm
Damn. So
and
that go back to what I said when they were saying, when I was reading off that thing and it was telling us how the fourth dimension is where the demons and the fallen ones are, and it also said where people sleeping is.
yeah,
So if we're sleep, and like you just said, maybe the mind is 4D. That's why we able to think certain ways and the future and manifest and stuff like that,
hmm
because we have a 4D consciousness or a 5D consciousness or whatever. We might have a whatever consciousness.
yeah. So let
But
me
we're
go into
trapped.
that.
Hold on. We're
Go ahead.
trapped. We're trapped in a third density body, which which hinders our natural ability to manifest.
Okay.
Okay, like Sunkid said, your mind allows you to tap into higher dimensions. So that means we gotta be higher than 4D. That's why they able to manipulate us within these corporal bodies, because we don't know that we have the mind of the true source, the true
hmm
living source. So if we can tap into that and tap into who we are, then you know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna say it for you,
You
but
know?
now let's check this out, right? Now it's funny when you said we could be 5 dimensional, right? So we got the 3 dimensions: height, width, and length, right? Which is like your physical. Then if you go into your mental, that's like your fourth dimension. But now let's go into the fifth dimension. You have a spirit or a so-called soul, right? Because the minute a person dies, they measure that the electricity in your body, you lose a small percentage of weight from the electricity, so called, or your soul spirit from leaving
seven
your body.
grams. Seven
Seven
grams.
7 grams. So your spirit actually has a weight to it. Now what you say happened in the halls of Minty, you something gets weighed on it with the feather. Damn, bro. Hey, let's do it. Let's do it.
You see what I'm saying? When you make the connections, bro, the
hmm
shit be boring. Like, it come off boring sometime at first. You be like, what the fuck? But then when you start making the connections, you like, oh shit.
Yeah, I learned
Like,
some
these
shit.
people really had this shit from us. Like, we really some high intellectual beings, bro.
hmm
We really are. And we're it's like we're trapped in this third density. And the only way that you can get out is to know who you are. That's why the whole concept of know thyself, know who you are, remember who you are.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? That you are not attached to none of these things on this shit. That was the whole concept of Jesus. Like, that's why he said, don't be of this world.
Yup. Don't be of this world. And if you of this
See what I'm
world,
saying?
if you're not of this world, they're gonna hate on you. But if you're of this world, they're gonna love you because you from this world. Now I'm gonna tell you another thing, right? He said, if you want to follow me, sell everything you got and then come with me. Now let me tell you why. Now most people think materialistic, right? The 3D. So it's all about get the Jordan, get the bag, get all this. He was like, nah, you got a higher mental and a higher spirit. So you got to get rid of all that material stuff for you to actually be able to receive this higher level knowledge. Because the material stuff is just a distraction. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Look, even in the halls of, I mean, in the emerald tablets of thought, it was telling you that there is knowledge that man cannot utter. We can't even fix our voices and our minds to even utter this knowledge.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it gotta be higher dimensions, bro.
Yeah, you remember I said, bro, I'm gonna try to break down, explain some stuff, and then like as best I tried to explain it, and you understood what I was trying to say. It was like one of the last lives, and even though it didn't come out right, it's like I wasn't meant to explain certain stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like it's
Maybe
damn near
because you
impossible.
didn't have the, maybe you either, I'm gonna tell you like this.
Yeah.
when I first was coming up building and shit, like
Mhm.
I couldn't find people, bro. Like it was hard, bro. It was really hard to find people that have a consistent 1 hour, 2 hour show about building on a specific topic. Yes, we're gonna have some. So we're gonna digress a little bit. We might laugh. We gonna talk some little shit, but the
Yeah,
main focus is whatever the topic is. You know what I'm saying? Of
exactly.
building and expanding the consciousness. Every time we learn something, we expand the consciousness, bro. So that's why I do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like it's raw as hell to think, bro. Like, especially if you can think in a way where others can't think like you, or you can get people to think on the same level as you. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe by y'all coming together thinking on that same level, you know what I'm saying? We can manifest something into a higher level than that, than where we thought we was. We thought we was the shit here, but we really the shit here because
Hmm.
knowledge is infinite, bro. It's no stopping this shit. You can't think it stops right there. Like that like limits the creator. Like, you know what I'm saying? It limits the source power. Like, that's why I think it's a dimension where it's just pure energy, bro. Just pure, just
The,
beautiful,
the spirit,
pure.
the soul realm, the spirit realm.
Yeah, but like the real one.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because like I don't know, when I got into simulation theory, bro, that's
Hmm.
what made me start tapping more into the spiritual realm, because I used to be afraid of tapping into that shit. But
Okay.
you got to tap into things that you, because you fear what you don't know. Everything that you ever wanted is on the other side of fear. So if I want these things and I want to know these things, I can't be scared to like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I gotta understand what the fuck it is, and maybe when I get a better understanding, I can get a clearer sight of what's going on, because I'm letting fear block me. I'm letting fear keep me down here instead of going on the other side of that shit. Like, let me step over this shit. Like, oh, that shit wasn't even nothing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? It's just retraining the mind. That transition phase is what you got to get used to. Like my homie had died, bro,
Hmm.
uh, a few years ago. Like in a car accident and shit, right?
Sorry to hear
And
that, bro.
it's all good, it's all good. So then when when I had a dream, like
Hmm.
2 or 3 days later, I had like a dream, like we was like in the desert or something,
Hmm.
and this nigga had on all black, and he was like walking up toward me and shit. He was like, "What up, man?" I'm like, "Oh hell no!" Like I started bagging up. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I remember myself doing this, and he was like, "Oh man," he was like, "Oh, it's cool." He's like, "It's just the transition you got to get used to." So when he said that, bro, I saw that man say that in my dream, but not saying necessarily it was him. It was it was a collection. It was a collection of my subconsciousness, my emotions of me missing this person, that I
Yeah.
manifested this person into my dreams. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
How could you? I feel like it's selfish to say. I feel like it's just selfish to say like this person is watching over you, because we know like when somebody's watching over you and watching your back, they not gonna make sure you they gonna make sure you got money. They gonna make sure you know what I'm saying, that as much death has been in the black community, motherfuckers should be well protected. So that's why I say, bro, this if they are manipulating the physical, what makes you think they are not manipulating the spiritual? Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. The mental, the spiritual. It's
I gotta
funny
roll
that you
up again,
said that.
man. We
Yeah,
going
yeah,
deep.
yeah,
Man. I
yeah.
gotta
We
roll
going
up
there.
again.
Look, and I usually wouldn't have did this, but I'm gonna do it because you explain your experience, and it's funny. This just I don't know. I think this was yesterday knew what's happened, because like for the past 2 days, I ain't been doing nothing. Like I just been eating real good, drinking a lot of water, ready to go to work. And anything responsible I got to take care of. When I wake up, I take care of it. You feel me? So it's funny enough. I was like laying down, bro, and then like I won't sleep, bro. And this wasn't a dream. And like for like a split second, like I seen like a vision of my mom, like, and she was like in her prime age or whatever, like somewhere like early 30s, and she just like smiled at me, bro. and then that was it. It was like for like 1 second, like my mom smiled at me, and it was over with. And I was like halfway woke, but not really sleep when it happened, bro. And it kind of, what I interpret from that, whether it's that's directly her or is that's her in me, DNA, or however which way it go, I look at it as my mom like, hey, stop worrying about your situation. I'm proud of you. You about to be doing way better. You don't even know it. Type. That's how I took that. You know what I'm saying? So
And that's what I'm saying. It could just be that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a manifestation of something you want to hear good from somebody that you really love and care about. Your emotions is one of the most powerful things on the planet because it is the trigger. It is the trigger for manifestation. So based upon how you feel, things manifest. So that's why I tell people like you got to be careful of your emotions and how to react to certain things because you know how a lot of niggas kill somebody or they do something stupid and then they in jail and they like, man, that wasn't me.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
out
The
because
devil
you let
told me to do
yeah,
it.
you let your emotions get
uh,
so low to where fear and negativity took over your consciousness. And we don't understand that that shit happens so fast because we are technically we are moving at the speed of light. That's why as soon as I say something, you can understand what the fuck I'm saying because it's at the speed of light, but in 3D. So we got to understand connections, mind, telepathy. You know what I'm saying? All of this type of shit.
let me add to that before we go further.
Yeah.
Now, like our physical may be bound to space and time, but our mental isn't what you call it constructed. It's not held back by space and time. So like you got two hands, you can write on one sheet of paper and write on another sheet of paper, right? With your two hands, but you can't write on like 10 pieces of paper. But inside your brain, you can do that shit. You can think and do a whole like he said. Not only we are beings of light, but we moving at the speed of light also. So like in our brain, well not in our brain, but in our mental realm, we're moving way faster than you can explain something. That's why when we have an idea, not only do we have the idea, but we got to literally mentally first. It's like a spiritual idea. Then we got to mentally use our mind to be able to think of a way to be able to say it physically to the people in front of us instead of instantly, like how we did it in the other. You get what I'm trying to explain,
Mhm.
right? And that's some real stuff. Like a scientist ain't gonna never say that, but they would never go against it. You see what I'm saying? Because they know that's the truth. You see what I'm saying? Your mind is literally infinity. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the human brain reminds me of two things. With the brain and then the stem with the spinal cord, it's like a sperm. It's like a tadpole. You see what I'm saying? It's like a tree. It's like a seed. You get what I'm saying? And with the right nourishment, our brain, our mental can keep growing. You see what I'm saying? I ain't gonna go into the other stuff like everybody else be going,
No.
but you, hey, look,
Yeah,
you like,
you
I hope
good.
genocide ain't about to start talking about
Yeah, don't go
nah,
into
nah,
that shit.
nah. I'm one of the people. I don't do when they get too much to talking to sexual stuff. Even if you trying to explain, nah, I just avoid all that type of talk. But to explain it to its core ability. And what was that jank that we seen? Oh yeah, the Thulu jank. It's a couple of janks that look like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But see, let's see what he say. Cause look, we only a minute and 28, and we just broke all this shit down.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We need to let the
So
boy get a chance to finish. Let the young
let's
man
finish.
finish right
It's
quick.
because of the hues of light down. So just like in a two
Hold on, let
sphere,
me start
just
it back.
dimensionally in the three-dimensional world. But despite that, we actually view things to be two-dimensionally. Take a perfect sphere, for example. If you're looking at a sphere, it looks just like a regular two-dimensional circle. The only way that you can tell it's an actual sphere instead of a circle is because of the hues of light down. So just like in a two-dimensional world, if a organism in the two-dimensional world was looking upon a circle, the light would make it appear to be lighter at one end and darker in the middle. Also, if an object is moving closer and farther away from you, you don't actually perceive that it's getting closer and farther away. You see that it's getting smaller or larger, and then you assume that it's getting either farther away or closer. But let's say that an object
This little motherfucker smart. Hey, he's smart because that is technically true when you see the sun. When I used to break down the flat earth, I used to say as the sun is going further to the west, it looked like it's shrinking. You know what I'm saying? It's just, but it's still in the air though. Cause my homie used to live in Cali, and I used to call him like, "Gee, the sun, like the sea, like G is the sun is in the air, gang. Like, what's going on? Like, so it's like if the sun's still in the air, it's not going down. It's just from our perception is going down because our eyes can only see 3 feet, 3 miles, especially over the ocean. You can only see 3 miles over the ocean floor. So it's like in the sky, you ain't gonna be able to see that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
since you brought that up, it was a eclipse that just happened recently where two different peoples on different sides of the planet who won't pose to see it at the same time said they seen it at the same time. But how true that is. Just some little interesting information tell you stuff. You know what
yeah, yeah. Hold on, let's go back to it.
I mean?
It was to grow in perfectly equilibrium, so that it was growing at the same speed that it was shrinking as you move it farther away. Then you would not be able to tell without any lights or if there were details on the object that it's moving or growing at all. You may have assumed that since we perceive things to be in two dimensions, that a two-dimensional organism would see in one dimension. So, as we're watching this rubber band expand as it moves farther away from this little organism in the two-dimensional world, it does not actually perceive anything is happening to it because it's growing at the same speed that it's moving farther away. But since we can actually see it from the three-dimensional world and perceive things to be in two dimensions, we can see things for how they actually are.
So you think you know Wix, but do you really?
So what do you mean by that? So the things that we see is 2D. So are we seeing 2D and 3D objects at one time? Yo, shit on mute, gang.
All right, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, my bad. All right, I think what he's trying to explain is like this. For that two-dimensional being, when he as it further goes away, it's supposed to get smaller, but as he expands it, it looks like the same thing because he's two-dimensional. But he's using three-dimensional tricks to do that, so the two-dimensional being wouldn't see that. But I guess if you would put us into a three-dimensional or five-dimensional being, if there's beings of higher dimensions, then that means they could make stuff like the sun and the moon. There's an analogy where they say the sun and the moon is a certain distance away from us, but because of the way they position in the sky, they appear to be the same size. That would be a representation of extra dimensional
What he
beings making something seem like something is the same, but to our perception when it's actually different. You see what I'm
And the
saying?
only way we can find out is really tapping into it and figuring this shit out. Because if you just looking at it, you just gonna think, oh, it's beautiful, or this, that, and the third. Like you don't really have no concept of what this thing really is. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Damn, them some tricky. So that's what I'm saying. The fourth dimensional beings, bro. Only the fallen. So that's what I'm saying. The fallen ones is fourth dimensional beings, 4D.
Now,
And
if you think about it from my perspective, I look at it like this: our mind, our mental is a fourth dimensional being, right?
right.
So if our fourth dimensional being is
No,
connected
no,
to
no, no,
this,
no, no, no. I'm not gonna say it's a fourth dimensional being. I'm not gonna say it's a fourth dimensional being.
it, it,
I'm gonna say it's
yeah,
higher than that, bro. It gotta be, bro, because we're able to think past that.
yeah, that too. Okay, let me simplify it a little bit more. Our mental goes into beyond the three-dimensional prospect, right?
Mhm.
So whoever these beings are that's working through the fourth dimension, I think they have a higher dimension casing or vessel, so to say. Look at the fourth dimension of the mental realm or whatever that being, well, that existence or process. Look at that like a internet between us and them, but we can freely use it, but we don't realize our capabilities in that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, bro.
Hey yo,
It's
we
like
breaking down some shit that ain't easy to break down either, too, bro.
right, but look, it's like we got the it's like they got the power like right in front of us, but like we so dumb, we just don't know what it is. And they know by studying the brains and how the mind work and how you can train the mind, they know these things.
Mhm,
So that's already kind of fucked up. You know what I'm saying? We coming in and don't know what the hell going on.
mhm.
Like that's almost like they got a head start or some shit. It's crazy,
Yeah,
bro. Fourth
it's like
dimension
reading the
beings
manual.
here to manipulate. Yeah, they here to manipulate the 3D.
Like they
They here
got
to
a
manipulate the
manual.
3D.
They got a
Yeah,
manual to be able to read stuff. So like, they might be able to read us easy, but I think we got like what you call it, like a firewall to protect us too. Because you remember you were saying it was like, so if there's people looking down on us and this and that third, we should have some type of protection, right? And I think we got a firewall set up. Now let me go biblical with this, right? When Adam and
right.
Eve left the Garden of Eden, right? There was flaming cherubims, a firewall that was set up around the Garden of Eden. You see what I'm saying?
What you saying though? Hold on, go ahead.
All right, so you remember you were saying we should have some type of protection against beings like this, right? So like
Okay, okay,
when you on the internet, you got like Firefox and stuff like that, which is basically a firewall that's set up to protect you, right?
right.
So look at it like this: if those beings came to the Garden of Eden and messed some stuff up, then we left as Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden, and it says they were flaming cherubim set up, and cherubims are like high level, like guardian angels, like guard
Right,
not
right, right,
guardian
right, right.
angels, but high level guardian
I
angels,
seen them. They
and
they 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 got eyes and shit on they like wings and shit like that.
yeah. Like if you seen them and you went to describe them, even though we describing them the way they truly look, we wouldn't still be able to draw the way they truly look. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's what I'm
Cause
saying. We won't be able to comprehend some things on this in this. That's why I said if you saw the creator in this, like the real pure light creator, you will implode, you will
yep,
explode. Like there is no way this body can take all that.
it's too much. It's too much pure information. Like, and I hate to say it like this, but like we like a dirty swamp, and you could add like a drop of bleach in it and turn it clear, right? But it'll kill
Hmm.
all the living organisms in it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
uh, so so another way of explaining it, breaking it down, okay, so okay, like this, right? Now we got like 3D rendered games and computer CGI, right? And we keep making them look better and better and better and better, but they still would never look like our real dimension. Like, let me call us not 4D effect. Let me just call this real dimension, right? Our real dimension could never be expressed in the 3D CGI world. They can make it look good, make it look damn near similar, this, that, and third, but it still could never perfectly replicate our real definition of real dimension. You get what I'm saying?
Let me ask you. Yeah, I do. But let me ask you this one.
All right.
What if the same thing goes on and it just get easier and easier on each dimension? Like, what if it's a government in the 4D, the 5D, the C? You see what I'm saying? Like, but I just be thinking too, like, if we have free will and we these people, like, shouldn't our soul have free will once we die?
I mean, I believe in that one too. And it's funny. I thought you were about to say this. So you could take a 2D sheet of paper, right, and put that in a 3D game world, right? You could take both of those, that 3D game world, and put it into our real dimension, right? Now let me keep going up. Then that means you could put our real dimension in a higher level dimension, and they will be able to see and perceive it, right? But
Right.
now let me backtrack to where I thought you was gonna go at with this. Now, you could take me or you, right, and make us a CGI model in a video game and make it look very, very similar to us, right? But like now I'm gonna go with your analogy. As you go to the higher dimensions, it becomes easier. So who's to say that a higher dimensional being can't render themselves that look like one of us in real definition or real dimension, like how we look, and it will fool us? Cause we already got 3D shit that can damn near fool your eye, look like a real person with these deep fakes. So who's to say that a higher level dimension ain't got some shit where they can do that and look like us walking around? You get what I'm
But
saying?
look, my thing is this: why would the higher dimensions even want to come down here and dwell here if they already passed this shit? So that's what I'm saying. If why that means 3D is the shit.
I get you. I get you. I'm gonna give it to us. Why, if we in this real dimension, we all on a stuck on our cell phone, stuck on social media, stuck on playing 3 dimensional games? If this the shit,
Wait, say it again. Say it again.
all right, check this out, right? For the higher level dimension beings, right? Why would they want to be a part of this shit, right? But when we look at our TV, when we look at social media, when we look at our computer graphics on our movies, especially in our video games, that's a lower dimension. But we love that shit. It's the same thing, right? It's not exactly the same thing, but it's in the
But
process.
why we love it though?
See, and that there you
We
go.
love it because we don't know. We just think
Yeah,
it's a video game.
like we wasn't born naturally. That when we was first created and we was first born, even to babies right now, a baby don't come out saying I want a Facebook account and I want to play a video game and I want to watch a new movie. Babies don't say that shit. That shit is a learned, unnatural behavior that we exert and think is natural and think it's okay. But that's what you said. See, and I think that it might be a possibility because the Bible speaks about this, where it's been certain people that did something and they was able to literally in a translation become a higher level dimensional being. And
But look, when all that Bible thumping shit, when they be talking about people living 800 years, 900 years, bro, those are fallen entities, bro. You cannot live in that body for 900 years, bro. It don't exist.
but now
The
let's
healthiest person in the world is gonna die, bro, around 100 years old, bro. It does not matter. The body is set up like that
I'm
unless you got some type of god serum, some lethal serum or something to keep your immune system, because that's where the AIDS disease came from. They was extracting it from monkeys because they put it in a monkey and the monkey never caught AIDS. And when they injected it to a human, it came up with this autoimmune deficiency disease and all this other shit. So once they came up with that, that's when they came out with the AIDS and HIV. That shit was not out, and it came out when I was a shorty.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
So using that
they
analogy,
making these diseases.
I think what happened, and I don't know if people live to be that long or not, but I know the older I get, the more cancerous foods we get, the more like everything we get is less and less healthy. So who's to say that thousands, maybe 10,000 years ago, that people didn't live for a couple of hundred years? I can't say that that's out of the realm of possibility because one thing I can see in our society is we keep getting unhealthier. So it must be a process somewhere down the line that we was way more healthier than we are, and then you can kind of tell because there's giant bones and stuff. So for stuff to get that big, you don't stuff to get that big don't just live for like okay, look at the giant tortoise, right?
Bro, you
They
gotta
live
think
for 200 years.
but they was manipulating. You gotta think they was manipulating DNA. They was down here gene splicing, manipulating DNA, fucking shit up, trying to trap us. And maybe they came up with this human body to trap the souls. We love this shit. We love being in our bodies. We love slam dunking, throwing a football, fucking having sex, all these different things to to negate the fact of who we really are. So it's like if you ain't really trying to find who you is, it's like you really gonna be stuck in this reincarnation cycle. You know what I'm saying? And I be thinking like I used to think like, damn, is reincarnation only for the fallen ones because they are able to you see what I'm saying? And they merged it with Hindu and Buddhism to
Or
make hold on, to
okay,
make
man.
humans believe in this stuff. So when we die, we have this oh, I'm reincarnated and I come back as such and such, and then you reincarnate your ass right back here on Earth into a womb, doing this shit all over again. That's why I be thinking like, damn, is that why we be having deja vu?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I be asking myself, like, how the fuck I get into all of this shit?
Now,
You
what
know what
I
I'm saying?
heard that now you explaining that right now, what would be a reason for them to do that to keep us in the cycle? You know how like they say it's the circle of life, it's the cycle of life. But just because people taught it to us in a lovely Disney movie, don't mean that's it.
Oh shit,
Yeah, bro. I'm
bro.
I'm breaking
The
this shit down.
circle, bro. Oh my god. Bro, listen,
Yeah,
listen. The circle of life
yeah,
is 2D.
yeah.
It's two dimensional.
It's keeping you away from the higher dimension. Now, why would they do that? Now,
Oh
I,
my
I'm gonna give you evidence. Why would they do that? Right? Maybe they can't incarnate into this realm, right? But they can incarnate in our mental, in our. They can incarnate through us, like basically, like how we can create an avatar in a 3D space and control it, right? When we allow ourselves to be susceptible to these influences, then they could manipulate us and basically their will will be done here. That sounds like something, don't it?
but look though, that's
Mhm.
see, listen, they don't have no will because this is their place. They can't go no, they can only manipulate from the fourth to the third. Fourth to the third. So keeping us here will keep them empowered, so to speak. They feed off our negativity. If you watch the Matrix, the analysis said we keep y'all in fear because we feed off that. He said, isn't it crazy? The more fear we put in y'all, the more energy y'all pump out. These motherfuckers is energy harvesting, bro.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
true.
gotta you gotta understand the concepts of how they're trying to keep us trapped in this shit. That's why I be telling people, man, your motherfucking soul on the line. Get off your ass. Change your ways. Fuck is you. You don't need to go to church and have a whole bunch of people clapping, and you gotta put money in here for a motherfucker to tell you to change your motherfucking ways. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I'm gonna say it like somebody said. God don't want your money.
You don't want your
Shit.
motherfucking money.
He don't
Listen,
spend that.
money.
That shit
Listen,
paper.
money. Hold on, hold on.
Mhm.
Let me bring this up for them.
All right.
Money is made out of
Mhm.
fucking cotton and linen.
Exactly.
75% cotton, 75% linen. That shit fucked me up.
Oh wow, wow. You know, yeah, yeah. I heard that without trying to sound like an angry black man. That explains it right there. You feel me? Like and niggas worship that shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas be
Come on, nigga,
worshiping
kill
that
you over some linen and cotton, bro. Some
linen
shit
and
that you got
cotton.
on your back right now. The same shit you got on right now, they make that as money.
The shit that our ancestors picked out of fields. Like why they pick that shit? They could have picked hemp. That shit would have been cheaper, right? Why they ain't pick hemp for?
Exactly. Look, he say, look, she say this reality and dimension is in order for us to complete our karma or dharma in order to ascend to the next phase. We reincarnate until we successfully completed our assignments. What a
Now I take that seriously.
come
I
on,
know.
Sanchez, don't start this shit,
let,
man.
let, let, let me do this one right
People
quick.
don't even hold on, gang.
Yeah, go
Hold
ahead, go
on,
ahead.
gang. Hold on, fuck on, gang.
This nigga funny.
Because people don't even understand what they own life. They don't even understand what life
Yeah.
is about. Now you telling them about some karma and dharma and some assignments. That means they had a contract. Now we're back to soul contracts again.
I knew it was going to that. I knew it was going to
If
that.
I got free will, why would I sign a contract that I don't remember?
Ooh,
That's not free will, gang.
yeah.
Like, come on, man. Come on. Don't turn me up, man. We was chilling. Don't
This nigga here. I seen that one coming. I read that just said, oh shit, he gonna go to when I seen assignments, I said soul conscious. That's all that you seen with that. But now honestly, look at it like this, right? If you got certain stuff that you need to do that ain't fulfilled, that's certain they say certain souls and stuff go into like purgatory or something. So to say that that makes sense too. And if that's true, then they will keep us on a lower vibration and into material stuff instead of doing our assigned tasks so they can be able to manipulate us in this world more.
listen. That's some purgatory is some religious shit, bruh. Like, listen, bro. If I got free will, I should be able to do what I want when I die, gang. Not saying do what I want, but according to my consciousness and the things I've done on the planet, I've not harmed nobody, done no ill will to nobody or nothing like that. Took care of my kids, G, my responsibility. You understand me? The same for many of us. You know what I'm saying? Not just me, many of us. So I'm just saying in general, like understanding dimensions. If is there any way so if the 2D can't manipulate the 3D, then there's no way we can manipulate the 4D. But how can we not manipulate the 4D if we have the infinite mind?
I think
But do
I
hold on.
go
Do
ahead.
our minds become finite? Do our minds become finite because we in this body, or do
Hold on, our
I be
mind.
fucking myself up
Hold,
sometimes.
I got you. Our mind is connected to the finite. Our mind connects us to the infinity. Our mind connects us,
So
like
so
you said,
so
with spirit.
so so does the body make the infinite thought process slower? Like the brain, using the brain as a tool to process. Like even though I'm moving and doing this, I'm still using my brain to do that. My brain has sent signals like, yeah, you're gonna do this when you do this, but it's fast as hell.
Yeah, yeah.
Else
So you,
else we'll be moving like this, like
yeah.
you know
So
what I'm saying? Like it'll be slow as hell.
you know how a vehicle got a governor on it, or like you put a limiter on something, or like you got a what you call a converter box, so it won't be too much energy. Our bodies is literally that.
I understand all that. Look what she say, right?
All
She
right.
say, so what is your idea of your purpose here? My idea is I don't know yet. I know I ain't indulging in no evil activities. I know that. I ain't fucking with the dark side like that. I'm gonna tap in a little bit, tap out. Create balance. Too much light, you'll go blind. Too much dark, you can't see. You see what I'm saying? That's what the whole yin and yang is. That's why the yin got a little bit of black in it, and the yang got a little bit of white in it.
You
See what I'm
know,
saying? Only so
you want
much.
you
Do
want to hear
things in
my
moderation. Hold on. Do things
go
in
ahead.
moderation. That's what the symbology is for. That's why I be telling people study symbols and understand what this shit means, so you could partake that to your life. But like I say, I would rather say my purpose is I don't know yet than to me to say my purpose is you see what I'm saying? Because how do you know? You only have a purpose pertaining to a lifestyle that the government have us living. Because if there was no monetary systems, what would you say your purpose would be then? If there was no basketballs, no footballs, no sports, no hockeys, no jobs, what was those people's purpose in life when it wasn't no jobs? What was those people's purpose? So that's what I'm saying. We have to understand this shit as a collective and not just at a time that we living in. Go ahead.
All right. So when it comes to like when people say the purpose of life, that the question and what is the purpose of life, I look at it as there are many different purposes in life that you're fulfilling. Some of them knowingly and some of them unknowingly. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we got these human constructs of doctors, nurses, and stuff, but there's different things. Like when you said like somebody playing football, this and the third, they get that excitement and stuff, right? But then it goes to that true excitement. Sometimes, well, hold on.
If the
Let me.
soul is the purpose,
Mhm.
why would you tell me any physical man-made thing would be your purpose?
Well, yeah, that's and that could be deceit from the higher level dimensional beings and stuff. But not to go too far in that, I look at it as just simply what it is. Life is full of many different purposes, and some good or bad, but they all in a cosmic balance to happen the way they supposed to. And people be like, "Well, why the bad stuff happen?" Well, it be different, which they are possibly outside forces happening, but at the same time when bad shit happen here, it be people doing that shit. So we need to blame people using their free will to do dumb shit too at the same time. But life is purpose is instead of having a purpose. Because if you tell a person what is your life's purpose, right, and you don't did a fucking trillion billion things, it's nowhere in hell you can pick the one best one out of that. All of them got a different rating of how good they was to doing something betterment inside your life. So life has purposes. Asking what is your purpose of life, you will never be able to answer that question. That shit could be formed from the enemy, but a way for us to try to understand what's going on at the same time.
Facts. And look, also look, if we know that they fourth dimensional beings, bro, you know it's trickery, bro. It's a lot of trickery. That's why I don't play with tarot cards, all that astrology shit. Me and Sun Kids be going neck to neck with this astrology shit because I'm starting to really look at it. If Septi and Octi and Novi and Deci means 10, then how we got 12 months? Are we really born? Am I really born in July? You know what I'm saying? Is the are you really born in the month that you say you was born in? These are the things. If we're on a Gregorian calendar and Egypt or Ethiopia is 7 years behind, how old are we? What are we doing? Nobody, this is an outrage. Nobody is wondering, so do time really exist?
Or has time been changed? Now they tell you
How
in the
many
Matrix movie,
like what dimensional level is we on? If it's 7 years, they 7 years. If I go to Egypt right now, I'm 30 years old. I mean, Ethiopia, I'm 30 years old.
hmm
But I'm 39 in America. I mean,
oh,
38. Like that don't make sense, bro.
knowledge. You just gave me a gem right there, right? When they say these people was living for that many amount of years, right? Their calendar system probably was different, so their age was probably different. Just like how basically what you get what I'm saying? Like we being manipulated and lied to. That's something that we already know. And inside the Matrix movie, they gave us a jewel that most people didn't catch on. They said we don't know who did it first, but we know that we the ones that destroyed the sky in attempts to try to stop the machines. And he said we think this is the actual time, but honestly we don't really know what time it is now. They told you that in the movie that they don't actually know what time it is.
That's crazy. Look, she said she feel like we got several purposes. And because we're living in a 3D reality, the lessons that you learn through your journey in this life is how you complete your assignment. I'm like, yo, I remember going to school, and when I got the assignment, I knew what the assignment was. Y'all telling me we got free will, but we out here with assignments.
Yup. I agree with that. Hey,
I
bro.
mean, what are we talking about?
So let me
If
explain
you
it to you
telling
like
me,
this.
hold on,
Go
gang.
ahead. Go
If you
ahead.
telling me I am a free spirit, why are you telling me I have an assignment?
I'm gonna tell you why. To see if you're
Go
gonna
ahead.
do it or not. Look at it like this. If I told you your assignment and told you a reward for it, then you look. If I told you all you got to do is answer this math problem, right? And I'm gonna give you everlasting life in paradise, right? You know what your assignment is and you know your reward. But let's say that I don't tell you, but it's in you. It's all around you to see it. And you, how often do you say, "Man, something wrong? What's going on? Shit should be better than this, right?" That's a part of your assignment.
Man, you know what I'm gonna ask you?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Nigga, why?
Why? Cause it's
Nigga,
like
for
this.
what? Hold on, hold on.
Go ahead, go ahead.
If you got the power and the good, you made everything. Why even go through it?
We're not dumb.
Like,
It's
hold
us.
on. You got innocent souls being pregnant, being born on this planet, don't know nothing, don't know shit, and now they soul is trapped, and they never knew what the fuck was going on. Make it make sense, bro.
All right. So for me, like I said, I don't subscribe to soul contracts, but I believe that we already like existed before we got into this plane. Everything that we knew then has been wiped out from us once we enter the womb. Cause it's like this. You gotta adjust to get better at something. So it's like this. You know how you get some fish, right, from the pet store, right? They put them in a bag and they put them in water, right? Then you go to take them in a different environment. You don't just dump them off in that water lest they die. What you do, you put that bag in there, let them adjust to the water. Then you poke a hole in that little bit of plastic. Then let them swim out into it. That's kind of what's happening to us. Basically, the information, the spiritual knowledge that we had before we came into this vessel had to be stripping away from us, lest we be gods here in this reality. But we still have assignments and tasks to do that we supposed to do. If I didn't know no better, I think most of us signed up for this shit. Was like, damn, like look at it, look at it. Okay, let me tell you why. Act
Where was
like you
what ink pen? What ink pen did I use? What
look.
company? What company made the ink pen that I
Nah,
signed up for?
we got higher dimensional shit than that. Look at it like this. Say you like an angel or like equivalent to like what you would call an angel in the heavens, right? Or what you would call the heavens, right? Because it's
Now
not that.
you speculating and you
Hold on,
going
hold on,
into
hold on, hold
fantasy
on, hold on, hold
land,
on.
man.
Look, I'm using algebra for it. The angels, they're not angels. It's something else. It's higher beings. Heaven is something else higher. Act like you was one of them beings and you seen this dimension and you seeing people being fucked off and being messed over by creatures from another dimension, right? And you like, damn, I want to help him out. And then, like, say I'm the head guy in charge. I'll be like, okay, you can help him out, but guess what? I'm gonna strip you of all your heavenly powers and your memory, and I'm gonna let you go down there and try to help him out. I think some people actually probably signed up for that shit.
So you think that's what I did?
Possibly. I
I
mean,
left the most glorious place in the
but
universe to come here to
I'm
be
gonna tell
on
you, I'm gonna tell
YouTube.
you, only the most glorious beings could be there. Only beings that would sacrifice being out of paradise to help lower beings deserve to be in paradise.
And where you get that concept from?
No, I mean that's just for me. Think about it. If you hold on, look, I'm gonna put you into the shoes, and I'm gonna make you explain. I'm gonna explain this to you real easily, right? So
Yo, this
you
nigga
got
bugging.
ultimate. Look, you got ultimate paradise, right? Do you want people who just want to be in ultimate paradise, or you want the people who want to work like you to help the lowest beings? And I would the people who will actually sacrifice that and help the lowest beings. That's the people who deserve to be in paradise. And for the beings who just want paradise, I'ma alt you somewhere else, and you probably be mad and messing with my lower creations. And that's probably what's going on.
Listen, that's fucked up. Let me tell you how that's fucked up.
Go ahead, go ahead.
'Cause I did what I had to do and I made it to ultimate paradise. Now I'm gonna sacrifice my this to come get what the fuck? I made it. So now I'm gonna relieve again. Come on, gang. This shit hard, gang.
You
You know
know
what I'm
what?
saying? So
You
I'm
know,
just gonna wake up and leave, bro. Like, no,
bro,
bro.
you may have made that choice and don't even know it. You may have made that choice, and I'm just making this up as I go because I don't have no memory of that shit either. But I mean, to make perfect sense out of it,
You
it
didn't
would
watch
make
the
sense
movie or
though.
something. You didn't watch the movie. Listen, gang.
Nah, I
Ain't
came up with
nobody
that in my
listen. I
head,
come
bro.
here, do this, and make two kids and
hmm
work like why would I do that?
I
That don't
mean,
make sense, bro.
okay. Let me put it into you in a worldly sense, right? Let's say I made you a billionaire, right? And you stay in the richest neighborhood, right? Now listen to it thoroughly, right? I made you a billionaire, knowledge. You in the richest neighborhood, you doing good. You living like you in paradise, right? Right? Now, for those homeless people and the people fighting on the street, and you know people fucking them up, when you go outside your comfort zone to try to help them people out, I'm not saying would you put yourself in danger. You wouldn't try to help. You wouldn't try to do nothing to try to help
G,
out.
listen, G.
Go ahead, go ahead.
You can't compare human tactics to high intellectual concepts. You can't do that. You're like making them look like they're beneath us or something because the whole concept of doing that is like, what does that don't even make sense. It don't make sense at all. Why would we copy, like, why would they copy what we do?
Nah, I'm not saying they copying what we would do, but I'm just saying like we was made in their image.
That's
So
like falling from grace, bro. It's like, what do you mean? It's like falling from grace. I made it. I'm sitting with the source of all of this shit. I got a real, I didn't went through it, and now I'm just gonna dip
yeah, look at it like this. So
and
if we
hold
with
on
this
and
sort,
we go
okay,
through all of this shit again. That don't make sense, gang. That just you gotta show me. I mean, you gotta say something. You gotta say
uh,
something to make me think different because it's like we can't fathom those dimensions and those higher intellectual. We can't fathom that in this third density body. So why would you make it seem like that they would sacrifice themselves to come? That's bringing sacrifice is an evil thing.
I hear you. I hear you. Right. So look at it like this. You know how we got a mom and a dad, right? And they went out here and worked their ass off to sacrifice to take care of our ass. Cause we
That's a
hold
3D
hold
third
on,
dimensional
hold on, hold on, hold on,
thing.
hold on,
You
hold on,
cannot
hold on.
compare that to higher dimensions.
All right. So we was created from the higher dimensions, right? Our lower dimensions didn't come from a lower dimension. It came from the higher dimensions, meaning they are like a parent. They are like a parent to us. And if our parents would sacrifice to take care of our ass and when we needed help, who's to say that a higher level? I mean, look at it like this. If we got people who's more, if we got beings that's smarter than us, gooder than us, and this and the third, and we going through shit, of course they gonna want to help us out, right? I
So
mean, that's
look,
simple. Hold on. Think about it. That's simple,
so
right?
so so why the black communities ain't rised up yet, then, gang?
And this gonna go into some biblical shit, right? And you ain't gonna want to hear some of this shit, but I'm gonna say it anyways, right? We're
Go
not
ahead.
a look. We are not a cursed people, but because of the high position that we held here on earth, because of what we did mess up, we got slightly cursed, and we got to go through our punishment, our discipline, just like
What did we
everybody else.
do? What did we do? What the fuck did we do, bruh?
We we
You
we
can't
uh,
say that
we
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 cursed.
we, we
That's
di-
almost saying we cursed, but ain't cursed at the same time.
nah, we
Like
disobeyed
we got a
some.
little half. We're gonna be like 25% cursed or something. Like, what you mean?
Like
Like, it's
like
either a curse or it ain't.
So like look at it like this. If you don't pay your light bill for a month, your lights go out for a month, then you start paying on the shit again, right? Yeah, bro. I'm fucking it up. You get what I'm saying, but it's not. I'm trying to translate the
Bro,
higher
turn your
division and shit.
camera on, bro, so I can see how goofy your ass look,
Nah,
bro.
I'm smoking. Hold on. Let
It's
me
all good. But I'm just saying, bro. You tweaking, bro.
I'm
You
doing a
tweaking.
good job, but I'm still using worldly place markers. But like I said, just simply put, right? Our parents, right, when we was kids, we thought we were smarter than them in certain areas and realized we won't the older we got, right? They went through sacrifices to take care of us, right? Now we talk about beings, they're in a higher dimension than us. They got more heart, more intelligence, more compassion than us. Of course they're gonna want to help us out, right?
So, nigga, if,
Nah, be
if,
honest, ask the
if
shit. Be honest, ask that shit. I ain't gonna take it the wrong way because we ain't gonna get to the truth unless we be
so
honest and
if
ask the
they
right
if
shit.
we know that they have more intellect, more heart, more, why the fuck would they come down here to suffer, bro? That's almost like they're craving to suffer. You
Do our
can't do
parents like
that, bro.
suffering?
Hold on.
Go
Suffering
ahead.
is a third density thing. This is a 3D thing. So how could you Nobody's suffering in a high dimension. That don't even make sense.
All right, so let me go to some more biblical shit. They said God is a long suffering God. That's what it says in the Bible. It says he's long suffering.
Nigga, the God of the Bible ain't the real God, nigga.
I hear you. I mean, I get it, but
Who did all the killing in the Bible? All
man,
right, all
man,
right. God, nigga.
through
What is you talking about?
guidance, and that when he
And
did do
God.
that, when he did
God
do that,
telling me, I'm gonna destroy this, I'm gonna burn this, I'm gonna blow this shit
you know
up.
why?
Come on,
Because
man.
those people went against God's people that he loved the most, which was a certain group of people that keeps getting messed over
Nigga,
to
how
this
he
day.
gonna love them the most if we all connected, bro? That don't.
All right, I'm gonna tell you like this. All right, you like basketball, football, right?
Yeah,
Do you like every single team? Do you not have a favorite team?
nigga.
See,
Just
you
because
don't
the
like my
team,
answer.
listen, hold on. Just
I'm
because
listening.
the team, I may not like the team, does not devalue the fact that they are human beings, bro. There are lives inside those jerseys. When they take those jerseys off, that is somebody's. Those are somebody's sons, somebody's fathers, uncles, brothers. What the fuck does a team have to equate to a soul?
All right, look at it like this.
You
So when
niggas
they
ain't you
say,
niggas listen, you be going to surface knowledge with it, bro. You gotta go in the rabbit hole. You can't just be like, okay, what of a basketball team? Like, what?
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is it? Like, I know the weed hitting good, but
All right. So let me try to further break it down, right? And I don't like
yeah,
using these
break
words.
that
That's
shit
all I
down.
got. So the creative beings, or like the with the God, like how they said, we the first ones on this earth. We got our own God. These guys, which are called Elohim, which is plural, who work to make all of us. You see what I'm saying? So like when it comes to other races and different ethnicities, they literally got their own God too. All our stories have been tampered with by other dimensional beings too for whatever nefarious purpose. And I'm explaining some shit that I really don't got the high knowledge of, but the proof is out there for us to know this shit. You see what I'm saying? But basically, as a people that God loved and cared about. And it's a reason why. I mean, even to this day, people love us and respect us, even though we supposed to be this, that, and the third, don't have this much to go. But everybody just loves the shit out of us. Like, it ain't about the materials we get, because we barely control any of the materials in the world. People really love black people because of the way black people are, not for the materials they don't have. You get what I'm saying? And that's fucking that's supernatural in itself. Let alone that we have scientifically, historically, the first people. So obviously, it goes to, hey, this is my people. So when he said go kill such and this such, the part that people usually leave out, look at it like this, right? Say you in a community, right? And it's you and your
Let me
people. I don't
pause you
care.
right quick. Let me
Oh,
pause you.
hold, but I'm gonna go right
So
back to
you
it. Go,
saying
ahead.
high intellectual? So you saying high intellectual beings are dwelling in the 3D because this is where they can kill that?
Nah, that's not what I'm saying. Look at it like this.
Because hold on, because ain't that where God? This is where we at. This is 3D, third density. So
Nah.
God, hold on. You
Go ahead.
said that they can transform and put themselves and be down here and be one of us, and we may not know it.
Hmm.
And remember, in the Bible, God was, the angels was coming in and they was being other people and all that shit.
Hmm. Yeah.
Ain't that like a form of like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I get what you're saying, but
transforming, like reptilian transformations. Like that's what I'm thinking. Cause why would it listen, bro? Why would God be playing, bro? Why would he play with this shit, bro? This shit would just end, bro. And everybody be good.
oh, I got the answer to that one. So
Go
people
ahead.
say, okay, and this is another one. People say, okay, if God is so powerful, if he's so creative, this and the third, why does he let bad stuff happen to people? Now I'm gonna tell you, just like the parent scenario, when somebody kid, you got some of these kids or some people who grew up under two parents who raised them to do the right thing, but outside influences got in them and they did the wrong thing. Do you blame the parents for that shit? No, you can't blame the parents for that shit. Now let me tell you another thing.
How
Guy
can a
get look,
out-
hold
how
up.
can an outside influence get in a high intellect where the damn source is, bro? How can an influence that powerful get to where the source is and fuck everything up?
Well, nah, it don't mess everything up. It from our dimension, it seems like that, but up there, it's not like that. But now, let me explain to you about God and our free will, and why doesn't He do it like this? So, us having free will, we have the choice to do what we want to do. See, in the Matrix movie, they lied to you. They said choice was the problem. No, choice ain't the motherfucking problem. Choice is the freedom that He gave you. He gave us the freedom to fuck up. If we don't have the freedom or the mind to fuck up, then we would be slaves unto Him. Because He's infinitely smarter than us, He realized that we would treat Him as such as that way. So He gave us free will so we can fuck up and separated us in our own realm like kids so we can fuck up amongst each other, and He can't be blamed for the shit. And He only tried to tell us to do that divine spark. Like when a kid, when you go to steal and you got that feeling, you know you're not supposed to be doing that shit. That's a part of God within inside you, and knowing yourself, knowing that you know right from wrong. You get what I'm saying? So by you having a choice to fuck up, it's Him. That's the evidence of your freedom from Him. Because if
I
you didn't
think
have the
motherfuckers,
choice,
I think motherfuckers only get scared because they know they'll go to jail.
yeah, that too. I mean, some of them too,
That's
but
what
at
I'm
the same
saying,
time.
bro. It's deeper than that, bro. Like you can
So
make that
look,
shit sound all churchy and all.
nah, nah,
I
fuck
just,
church, fuck church.
I listen with a
I ain't.
logical. I listen with a logical mindset, so
But no,
I'm
no,
very.
thinking logically, right? I ain't
I'm
learned this
no,
from
no, no,
church.
no, no. I
Go ahead.
like the. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just like to.
yeah.
Sometimes I be needing that more. I be needing more. It's like no, that ain't enough. Like
All right, let me tell you what you
not
asking for.
hidden, bro. It's not
I need
hidden.
to I need to draw a tesseract and show you that shit.
Hold
Fucking
on,
turn
we
it to a
hold up.
merkable.
Hold on, buddy gonna talk about it. I'll pull him back up. We sure forgot about his ass.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
Hold
yeah.
on.
Your boy. Yeah,
Let's
yeah, yeah.
finish it up. Let's finish.
Let's finish with your boy right quick.
Things the way they really are is because the two-dimensional organism sees things in one dimension, just how we, three-dimensional creatures, see things in two dimensions. So in a way, we don't really see our world the way it truly is. A four-dimensional creature, however, seeing our three-dimensional world in three dimensions, would be able to see through things. Would be able to see absolutely everything, just as we could see if there was several organisms spread along a 2D environment on your floor. You would be able to see inside houses. You would be able to see inside of people. So if a two-dimensional world, a flat surface, is just
Inside of people, the incarnating. They be knowing who they could get inside, gang.
Now let me tell you this, right?
Like fourth dimensional beings.
Now check this out, right? You got a superhero, right?
Yeah.
He fell to Earth. He gets to fly. He has magical powers, and guess what? Superman, he can see through shit. Come on
Let's
now,
talk about it. Let's go.
made of
let's
an
go.
infinite amount of lines, then the 3D world is just made out of an infinite amount of planes. So the 4D world, logically, is made out of an infinite amount of 3D objects, though they're not just put together like you would like building blocks. That's not how the 4D world is. That would just be 3D again. So in order to understand this, we need to understand the logical progression of mathematics in our world. Imagine that this connects piece represents the first dimension. It's simply a straight line, which is basically what the first dimension looks like. And if you add three more of these straight lines and connect them to so that adjacent sides are perpendicular and opposite sides are parallel, then you have the basic shape of the second dimension. You have a square. Now, if you keep going from here, and you add it so that there's a total of four squares, and all adjacent sides are perpendicular, and all opposite sides are parallel, then you end up with,
Hey,
obviously,
pause it right quick. Pause it right quick. All right,
a
before he even
cube.
go to it, right? The next one is the tesseract because if you got the square, then you got the four squares, but then now you're gonna have a four cube. So tesseract is a four cube. You see what I'm saying? Like,
So that's what I'm saying. Listen.
hmm
So that's why they are able to shapeshift. They are able to shapeshift because in their dimension, they have it is set up with influences to where they can do that type of shit. And they also can manipulate the 3D, meaning they see our world different as we see it. Just like an ant pal or ant kingdom, they see their world how different how we would see it. You see what I'm saying?
and you know, in our world, we got stuff like night vision technology where you can see shit that you wouldn't normally see. Then you got infrared technology to where you can see shit that you can't see. But that shit is right there. I mean, you breathe air, but you can't see it.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So there's definitely things at play that people can't see that are totally existing and around them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Look though. Go ahead.
All right.
So if you tried to keep going from here, and you would have a four-dimensional basic shape, you would have a what's called a tesseract. Now I cannot show you a tesseract, but you need to understand that it's basically four cubes that are within each other that have all adjacent sides perpendicular and all opposite sides parallel. Yet there are four lines connecting to each vertex. So a tesseract would look somewhat like this picture. Now that's not exactly what it looks like because this is a two-dimensional depiction, and obviously not all of the lines are straight. So I cannot show you what a tesseract actually looks like because we cannot perceive things in the third dimension.
If you're a personal trainer or online fitness coach and you're not consistently earning at least $20,000 to $40,000 a month, then this might be why.
You cannot even imagine what a tesseract looks like. You cannot in your mind picture the fourth dimension or a fourth dimensional shape. You can keep.
Now what? Now what you gotta say?
Nah, and it makes sense. It's
Now
like
what you
this.
gotta say? He
Like
said
I
you can't.
explained,
He said you can't even imagine it. You can't. You can't even imagine nothing. How
I
you
mean,
so so
now, now
so, so,
let,
so
let
hold
me
on.
explain it to you like this, right?
Go
You
ahead.
you
Go
can
ahead.
you can you can't imagine it unless she was perceived the notion. So like you know how like when you see something in your dream that you have never seen before, to be able to try to explain it when you wake up, you ain't gonna never be able to explain that shit. You see what I'm saying? So like even though a tesseract is real and you could say I wouldn't say you put an image in your head is exactly like it, but you're putting the imagination to what it could be, even though you can't simulate exactly how it looks. But basically, you can basically perceive it and try to describe it. And that's what we're doing with a lot of this information. That's why it comes off kind of bland, or it's like we get close to making a point and they don't land. You see what I'm saying? But what you think about that, though?
You can't explain it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I can
You
explain
can't
it.
explain it. Let's finish. Let's finish.
But
No.
hold
Going
on,
on to the
hold up.
fourth dimension,
Pause it
you
one more
can
time,
go.
right quick. So, in another thing, right, in the mental, in the mind, right. Let's say there's a higher level, like act like the mind is a square, and the soul or spirit would be like the cube, and then the soul or spirit, whatever one's beyond that, would be the tesseract of it. If that makes any sense. But yeah, keep going.
Again, you can't explain that shit. That shit. I'm gonna say, hold on. Go ahead. Hold
The
on.
fifth dimension, the sixth dimension, the 71st dimension, it doesn't matter. Theoretically, there are an infinite amount of spatial dimensions. A common misconception of the fourth dimension is that the fourth dimension is time. Now, while some argue that by going forward and backwards in time, if you move forward the same distance and backwards the same, then you would end up in the same place you started, just like in the fourth dimension. And while that may seem logical, if you think about it, it really doesn't make sense. If you imply that the fourth dimension is actually time, well, first of all, time is not spatial. There's a difference between space and time, quite obviously. And assuming that all dimensions are according to a pattern, then that doesn't really make sense either, because saying the fourth dimension is time, every dimension has time in it. So that would mean that the fourth dimension is special in some way, which doesn't really make any sense. Another reason this doesn't make sense is that we very, very, very slightly travel through time whenever we move due to the distance that light takes to get to our body. Now, if a group of astronauts were to get in a spaceship and they were to go very, very, very close to the speed of light, then they went around in this impossible, nearly the speed of light spaceship for a few months, and then afterwards they returned to Earth. They would find that Earth had actually progressed a few years, so they had moved forward in time by moving that quickly. Another interesting concept involving the fourth dimension is that many physicists and even mathematicians may say that the dimensions are very, very slightly curved. Because if you really think about it, nothing can be truly, absolutely infinite. So imagine that the first dimension, the line, is just very, very slightly curved, so that after a very long time, it will end up creating a circle. So, as suggested by many physicists, if you keep going in the same direction, then you will end up where you started after a very, very long amount of time, obviously. And the same thing would happen to the second dimension. If it's just a square and then you extend it very, very slightly in a curve, then it will eventually make a sphere. And the same thing happens in our dimension, except it will form a very, very slightly curved third dimension, which will form a four-dimensional universe, basically. So what this kind of means
So basically, hold on. Let him finish a little second. He's a little second. So go ahead.
Yeah, let
is
me
that
finish.
our three-dimensional world is within a four-dimensional world, and the four-dimensional world is within a fifth-dimensional world, and so on. Now, I did say that nothing can be truly infinite, but if this is true, and a dimension is really within another dimension, within another dimension, within another dimension, then I'm implying that there's an infinite amount of dimensions, which is the only problem I really have with this theory. I'm not sure if it ever stops or if infinity is really even possible. We don't know that. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope this gave you a better idea of what the fourth dimension is.
Go ahead. What you think?
Yeah, I like how he ended the video, the way you can see the corner of his room. Did you notice that?
No.
Like he wasn't in that part of the room the whole time he was explaining that. But no, okay, so you know, and it's just like how you was explaining. It's hard to explain stuff like that when you explaining some stuff that you haven't actually seen or tested yourself. I can't say he was flawed in explaining it because it's almost impossible to understand and explain that stuff. But for some odd reason, we know about it.
No.
Now, knowledge. Why do we know about that type of stuff?
Yeah, I'm saying understanding what dimensions is. If you can break down what your dimension, if it's a one dimension, two dimension, and you see it's a three, and you create a 4D, then you create a 5D because it's the 4D sits within the 5D. So that means the the fourth dimensional beings or whatever, however that shit go, is manipulating this reality. So I'm thinking like shit. Is the fifth dimensional beings a part of it too? Because they over the fourth. You know what I'm saying? So it just make you really just start thinking like, damn, hold on, man. It's too much connection.
You
we
know, you
gotta
know.
find, huh?
All right, so let me explain another thing about dimensions, right? So you can't see air, right? Even though you can see it, but you can't see it, right? You
For
looking right through it, right? So air and water may be a lower dimension. You know how you said water is a different dimension, right? Now, what
yeah,
did he say? If you was a higher dimensional being, you would be able to see through it. But we can see through air and we can see through water, and water has air in it. Did you catch that?
nigga, what is the point? You ain't seeing shit.
Look, you said water could be a different dimension, right? water could be a different dimension, right?
That means that means it's lower than us.
Yeah, yeah, I said that.
Underwater to get to the water dimension. So it, obviously it's under us. So what I'm saying is higher dimensions. He said that you could see through, meaning you could see through people. Woo, woo. You
Yeah,
see what I'm
yeah.
saying? You can see through this. I can see through these. And if you look at the tesseract, hold on, let me click on it right here. This
This unworldly picture you see right here is
hold on.
called a tesseract.
How it's moving. See how this middle piece keep moving, it's transforming and all that. That's probably why they're able to shape shift because
Uh,
from their dimension where they were born or where they were created, however is whatever, they're able. They have that ability.
mhm.
They can manipulate the 3D. You know what I'm saying? This shit is crazy,
Now
man.
check this out, right? We can manipulate air and we can manipulate water. When the nigga, when the nigga put some water into the ice tray and put it into the freezer, you just manipulated a different dimension, right? And we could now he said you could see through the thing. So if we could see through air and we could see through water, we are higher dimension than air and water. And if you look at it, our body is comprised of water and we breathe air because we are higher dimension than those things. And we can see right through them. Now, what revelation is that? It's more so of an understanding that so when you said earlier that water is a different dimension,
Technically. So what about you? Could technically you could see your breath when it's cold outside.
yeah, yeah, you can see that because that's because of the moisture and stuff that's happening. Now you can see it then,
Yes, it's so like I mean, what you saying?
but you can still see through it though.
Because of the temperature.
Yeah, that too. But look
Every
at it.
every time I talk, there's a of air coming out. Anybody, right?
Hmm.
If you play football, you will know when it's cold as hell out there, and you on the football field, and you out there talking, your shit is breath coming all out the damn helmets
Hmm.
because it's so cold that the air you can you know what I'm saying you can visibly see the shit.
All right, so let me fully break it down, right?
It's air physical.
Now, okay, it's air physical. Now, hold on. I'm gonna break all that down. Hold up, and bookmark that one, cause I want to answer that shit. Cause if don't nobody ask me tough questions like that, ain't nobody gonna answer no shit like that. And I'm one of them people. I will attempt to answer the shit. You know that shit. You was like this nigga king, this nigga game for that shit.
That's crazy, though, right? If you really think about it, how you would think like, damn, is breath physical because you can see the shit.
Yeah,
Really,
air
like just
is
because
air physical.
we
Is air physical? And then look. Now I'm gonna tell you, in the Matrix movie, he said, "You think that's air you breathing?" Another one of the gems from the Matrix movie. You think that's air you breathing?
which one? Which movie was it?
I think that was movie one, Matrix one. He was like, "Neo, you think that's air you breathing?"
Hey,
Oh, you ain't seen that shit?
I think I watched that shit 100 times. I don't remember that part.
Neo, you think that's air you breathing? He said,
It
think
still,
that's air you breathing."
it still might come up.
Yeah, that shit still pop up. Now let me before you go into that. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
let me,
All
uh,
right.
you put me out. Hold on, gang.
Now
How
hold
did
up.
I
Before
get
you go
here?
into that, I
Wait,
explained about air and I explained about water, right? But I'm
right.
gonna go into another one, light and sound. See, now water has waves, right? When you throw a pebble or something in it, you see the waves, right? When light hits you, it's going through waves, right? When you talk, it's going through waves, right? But now play this right here. Play it. That's a different
Airway,
dimension.
airwaves.
Yeah, and it's a different dimension that's interacting with our dimension through our eyes, our ears, and this, that, and the third. You get what I'm saying? Like our eyes, our ears, our taste buds, we have sensories that pick up on a different dimension so we can
So do
receive
you think we tapped in with the
through
force?
somehow through our mental, connected through our physical. It's like a gateway to be able to perceive. Like if we didn't have a body, okay, you're right. If we didn't have a body, we wouldn't be able to interact with this world.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So if you ain't got a body to interact with this world, why? And you, we've risen and gotten to the highest dimension where we're with the source, literally, physically with the source. Why the fuck would we just stop and come back, bro?
I
That's the
mean,
to help people way in the 3D. We don't even know how many dimensions it is. Look how hard we can't even figure out the fucking 4D. Look how long it's taking us to break this 4D shit down. We still ain't got nowhere. So
okay. Let,
man,
let
you
me let
tell
me
me,
give you a concept, right? Maybe who we think the person that we call or the being that we call like the creator God and this and the third, maybe he was the first Neo in the Matrix that went to a higher level of consciousness and reached the outer realms and trying to bring us to that.
but maybe something had to be within him. Where did that come from? That's what you're not understanding, bro. It comes in, bro. The power is within, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go within. So you can't just say that. That's a good concept, yes, great one. But then you gotta think like, well, damn, the power came from within. So where did he get that? Where did that come from?
From the source.
If he's the source, why would he? How did it come from the source if he is the source?
He
You just
he is he, he isn't the embodiment of the source. Like act like you wrote a letter, right? Or a message, right? You sent
yeah.
out a message, right? He would be the message, but not the messenger. And then the messenger was still created. It's all cycles and shit that we
Go,
ain't supposed to understand.
hey, go hit your weed, man.
Hey, look, yeah, play this joint right quick, so I ain't gotta keep trying to ask these. Hey, look, but I don't mind though. I'm game for that shit. And
Oh yeah,
sometimes I do a good job at explaining
oh,
that
yeah,
shit, and then
man. You know,
sometimes I don't.
you know that's how we do it, man.
Yeah, play this joint. You ain't say you think that's air you breathing?
You're too fast. Do you believe that my being stronger or faster has anything to do with my muscles in this place? You think that's air you're breathing now?
What the fuck was that?
Somebody added that. That was not a part of the
That's
movie,
that
bro.
car for me.
Yeah, yeah. There we go. Some comedy. There we go. For everybody, one of the funny part is niggas getting spiritual. That shit was not intended. We did not. I'm looking at the title right now, and we
I
ain't
ain't
even we ain't even see that shit,
even see that shit. That's what.
bro. This the what you call it? The Mandela effect just happened. That shit went up there before you farted, bro.
Bro, I didn't see that shit at all. I thought you farted. I'm like, what the fuck?
Nah. But oh,
And
okay. Let me stay on
that shit
task. Now,
farted.
it's something important he said. You remember earlier, and you were saying
That's
so.
crazy.
If we was a certain way, we'd be like moving real slow. You remember that earlier when you explaining that part?
Yeah.
Now he said in his own way. He said, "Do you think I'm moving fast because we in this place?" He explaining something to you, bro. So look at it like this.
What you
Inside.
mean? What you mean? What you
Oh,
mean? If we
okay. Let me
so
break it down to you like this, right? Act like somebody taught you that inside your mind you could only think as fast as you could talk or do, but you know you can think and do a whole bunch more calculations in your brain than you could do writing it down on paper, right? So check this out, right? When he's explaining this, you're using your physical construct, your 3D construct, and a mental construct, and you will never be able to achieve this stuff. Once you realize that you're not a three-dimensional inside a three-dimensional construct and realize what you really are, then you wouldn't think about things moving slow or fast. You will be actually maneuvering through it. You get what I'm saying?
but what is that? What? But I'm saying though, how does that pertain to higher dimensions? How is that getting? What is the purpose of him saying he's not breathing air? Then what is he breathing? Is it just all mental? Is that
Okay,
what you're trying to tell him? Is it all mental? Like everything we doing right now is from your mind. It's not you're not physically here doing this. So everything is coming from the mind. So if it's coming from the mind, you're technically not physically breathing. What are you breathing?
All
There
right,
is no
so
air. There is no. You see what I'm saying? He's it's like he's telling you there's no air. There's no. You know.
nah, well, you can say that on the surface. It sounds in the interpretation, yeah. So one thing, as he first started breaking this down, and this is what's so hard. Unfortunately, the matrix can't be unexplained. It can only be understood if the person can understand it. So with that explanation, check it out. Neo and Morpheus right now, right? You see them fighting in this little dojo, right? But they're not actually there. They're actually strapped down to a chair inside
That's what
on.
I just said,
Yeah, yeah,
fool.
yeah. No, no, I know. I'm breaking it down to get to the point. You know what I'm saying?
Because
Without
look,
being too long with it, but so basically, Neo is fighting in that program as if he would in real life.
that's what I'm
Real.
saying. It's a mind thing. So they it's mental. He tell that's what I'm trying to get back to the air. If if they're in this simulation, are we really breathing air?
Is it really air?
Yeah, it gotta be. It's H2O, the science, it gotta be there.
Okay, so let me break it down to you. We can see air, right? But we can see through it.
I mean
it
carbon.
it's clear.
H2O, I'm tweaking.
So now, stick with me with this one, right? Water, right? We can see it and can see through it, right? Right? You can see water, but you can see through it, right?
You can only see through it if it's not a big body of water. You can't
Yeah,
see.
but
Listen, G, you can have a helicopter right now and fly over the ocean, my bro. You cannot see in the ocean. You
true,
can
true, true. I agree
if you
with you.
look if you fly so far up in the sky, it's gonna turn dark. You're
Yes,
not gonna
yes.
be able to see nothing.
And the
You're not,
same thing with light. If you are further away from light that you are, but if you go too close to the light source, you won't be able to see it, right? Thank you. But now, when we look at light for what it is, it's waves. When we look at water, water is waves. Same thing with air. When we speak through the air waves. Them shits is waves. So when they say you think that's air you breathing, shit, they fucking waves. We breathe in a fucking dimension. We're drinking a dimension. We're getting a different dimension as sun, and that shit, they tell us we get vitamin E or vitamin D to our skin from that shit. That's a different dimensional source of energy giving us so we got three. And then if you look at it like this, you ever wonder why they so fixated on triangles or pyramids instead of the tesseract? Because the pyramid is literally the tesseract or the cube of a triangle, right? A man is three-dimensional, right? And he gets these three dimensions. Without light, air, and water, we can't exist. So without those three dimensions, wherever they coming from, interacting with us, we can't exist here.
but
And
it gotta be from here because it exists here. It exists here.
or or you know how a cube is a square to Mr. and Mrs. Flat? What if the air, water, and sunlight, with all three of those, are something coming from a higher dimension and actually looks different in its purest form, but still here in our dimension? Did you catch that?
Yeah, but that's you in fantasy land.
Nah, nah, nah. Hold up. When he went to the 2D sheet of paper, right, and he explained to you about a cube interacting with that 2D sheet of paper, it will only look like a square, right? Right? Because they
Yeah,
can't perceive it for what it is, but they know it's there. Now, when we look at air, when we look at light, and we look at water, we think we know what the fuck it is, but we don't. Do we? Truly, do
what?
we?
I don't know what water is.
We
I
don't know
just
what
know
air is.
water. I just know it's something I need.
Yeah, yeah, just like air and just like light, right? So who's to say that there's higher, maybe six or seven dimensional beings that interacting with us, giving us light, air, and water? You see what I'm saying? I mean, you get the basic
Bro,
principle.
this is a simulation, bro. Ain't no beans just every day dropping water, bro. They can control the weather, gang. They can control the weather. That's what I'm saying. I be bringing people back to reality. Like, bro, if they can control the weather, bro, that throws away all your whole God concepts.
I mean, look at it.
Just like if you when motherfuckers go back and read the if you go back and you go back and you read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, it will clearly tell you that Thoth said that they created the deluge and they fled to Egypt. I'm gonna find that verse, that passage, and we're gonna discuss it. But what I'm saying is they're telling you that they created the deluge. If you watch what's the movie the Aquaman, if you watch Aquaman on Disney, they show you how they said they was living in paradise. They was showing Atlantis, and they said that they got so powerful and then they got greedy and tried to overexert the power and they blew it up. And some shit blew up, everything blew up, you know what I'm saying? And Atlantis sunk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That could be another theory too, but I'm just saying on the strength of these things had to exist. Why else are there stories on it?
Yeah.
They don't
So,
want us to know. They don't want us to know because we're gonna make the connection to Atlantis to Egypt. Then we're gonna start figuring out that these Egyptians is not our people. They are part of
well,
the fallen. They are part of the fallen. When you put the books together, bro, that's why they split everything up, bro.
you looked at the Grand Canyon before, right? You seen the Grand Canyon, right? Nothing
Yeah,
important there, right?
yeah. It's some Egyptian stuff in there.
Now, let me tell you another thing. If you look at that landmass, it looks like a lot of water been through there before, right?
No, it looked like that motherfucker got blew up.
Okay, that could be it too.
But what you saying? I could that could be a thing too, because maybe that's how they travel back and forth from America to Egypt.
Hmm. So, one of the stories, you know how they got like the end time stories? It said God said he wouldn't end the world with water. And that's just a place marker for what happened in history or whatever. But they said basically one time it was like how you said it was an explosion. You know, they attribute that to the dinosaurs. There was like a big asteroid, a big explosion happened, and it just wiped everything out. And that's just a theory of what they said. But there's evidence of a big explosion happening and shit getting wiped out. And there's evidence of a big ass flood, which is the what they call the deluge. And some people call it the upper and lower Dryas, depending on who you speak to, and that's different ones or whatever. But basically, most of the world was destroyed by water, and it's supposed to be like at least two other ways, but each one of them is like different from the other one. You get what I'm saying? Usually, so I guess let's say okay, one of them was fire, water, then you would have earth and air. So I don't know how the earth one would happen. That probably was like the first one because he like came above the waters, and I'm kind
Either
of going all
either
over the
way,
place.
either way it go,
Mhm.
you cannot fathom those dimensions until you are out of this one. You can't. And even if we sit here talking about it, how you know how to enter another one?
Yeah, that one.
See, this is what I'm talking about, bro. Like you gotta question every fucking thing. Like how you know to even enter another one? How you know you gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's why I be saying maybe your consciousness have to expand. You have to know so much things and so much to even expand to those higher realms for your consciousness to even handle it.
So like, I think there's like a, you know how like they program they sitting down in them chairs, right? But yet they inside that world, the Matrix world, without this body, I think like somewhere like what you would call the real heaven, what it really is probably like some type of chambers where like our souls are attached to something, and like we're literally directly linked to that as we to this, but we're like in a hibernation or a sleep mode up there while we doing what we doing here. If that makes any sense.
It goes back to soul pods. Like, hold on. I think nope. Let me see. Look at this shit. Shit like
If you have a 650 plus credit score,
Yeah, all the babies in the facility. Yeah, I was watching something like this earlier.
Introducing Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, powered entirely by renewable energy.
bro, where they get this from, bro?
They got it from the Matrix movie, bro.
Fucking Matrix movie, bro.
Now, are you talking about like the original
So like
when
how
it?
they even come up with this concept of having these babies? Like, what is this shit, bro? What if that's what we doing right now? We plugged in somewhere. Motherfucker still a baby. Like, what is this shit, gang? And if they four dimensional beings, they got power to do all this shit, bro. We ain't seen shit in the universe. We ain't seen nothing. This shit is crazy.
Ectolife allows infertile couple to conceive a baby and become the true biological parents of their own offspring. It's a perfect solution for women who had their uterus surgically removed due to cancer or other complications. With Ectolife, premature births and C-sections will be a thing of the past. Ectolife is designed to help countries that are suffering from severe population decline, including Japan, Bulgaria, South Korea, and many others. The facility features 75 highly equipped labs. Each state-of-the-art lab can accommodate up to 400 growth pods or artificial wombs. Every pod is designed to replicate the exact conditions that exist inside the mother's uterus. A single building can incubate up to 30,000 lab-grown babies per year.
And you telling me they ain't cloning motherfuckers?
We making lab grown meat, so you know. What I'm saying? Oh, I got another joke for you, bro. I almost forgot this shit, right?
Bro,
You remember Robin Harris, right? You seen the movie Bebe's Kids, right? Test tube baby.
damn near, you feel me?
Yo, yo, hey, that nigga, he a fucking prophet. Test tube babies, there they go right there.
Ectolife allows your baby to develop in an infection-free environment. The pods are made of materials that prevent germs from sticking to their surfaces. Every growth pod features sensors that can monitor your baby's vital signs, including heartbeat, temperature, blood pressure, breathing rate, and oxygen saturation. The artificial intelligence-based system also monitors
Hey,
the
pause it
physical
right quick.
features of your baby and reports any potential genetic abnormalities.
Hey, pause it, Jane, right quick. Nah, that ain't what that is. That's that Neuralink device to program some shit into your baby.
That's what that shit is, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is some. See, listen, bro. Like when I see stuff like this shit make me think like, what the fuck is y'all doing, and where y'all get this information from? Why are y'all doing this, and how?
I just watched a
Thirty
long
thousand.
documentary.
That thing said it can make up to 30,000 babies per year, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it doing? Just giving you a vessel and like is like what? Like it's just a artificial baby, and you putting your real blood and what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Talking about if mothers had problems with like complications. You remember that movie,
Man,
Children of
that's a
Men or
low
something?
percentage, the low, very, very, very low percentage of women
No, no, I
that
know
can't.
that. I know that. I'm gonna give you a
Very,
scenario, right? You remember that movie, Children of Men, where it was the last girl who could have a kid or something? At any given time, something could happen to the public worldwide that could possibly make them infertile, right?
yeah.
Whether accidental or on purpose. You got to catch what I'm saying, because sometimes when I'm talking,
But
I'm
look,
si-
why would you create artificial wombs like
check it
art like
out. Check it out.
but
Like, say
fake?
some
The
type of,
society gonna be fake. There's not gonna be real souls.
and I agree with you, but a easy way for that to happen, like some type of disaster, or say maybe say some type of disease come out, right?
It's a good idea, bro.
No, it's a fucked up, it's a bad idea. I agree
This
with
shit
you on
is
that.
fucking. This is shit is evil, bro. No
Exactly,
matter
but
how you present it, this shit is evil. Why
but
are
the
you even thinking? Hold on. Why
yeah,
are you even thinking about a goddamn infertile society, a whole damn society, all these nuts and balls around this motherfucker? You think it's just gonna be an infertile society, bro? You know how many people it is on the planet, gang?
they want control. So
Like,
what I
come
what I
on,
would do,
bro. Like,
I would make the population infertile, right? And I would make them dependent on me. And then now you got to come to me to be able to reproduce. But now because you depend on me to reproduce, I make you even more of a slave than you already was. Get what I'm saying?
yeah, that's another way of programming and trapping people too. But I mean, bro, that's neither here nor there. Like, it may, like I said, it may come a time where, like you say, you hear a lot of women now. They say
Hmm.
they don't want to physically have kids. They don't want to have
Hmm.
kids. They don't want to be married. So it's like, this shit might work.
And think about it. They just overturned abortion. Like as soon as they heard that a certain population was declining, they say, "Oh yeah, abortion. Let's just get rid of that. We losing too many certain kind of people in America.
Yeah.
Abortion is over with." So of course they're gonna be coming up with shit like this. But I'm gonna send you a link to another video that I watched. This actually got something to do with this that kind of makes more sense of like what the fuck they talking about, why they even going into this. But I talk to you about that one later. But I'll send you a link to that later. You know what I'm saying?
The pods are equipped with a screen that displays real time data on the developmental progress of your baby. These data are sent directly to your phone so you can track your baby's health from the comfort of your zone. The app also provides you with a high resolution live view of your baby's development. A special section in the app allows you to watch a time lapse of your baby's growth and share it directly with your loved ones. Because babies can recognize language and learn new words while still in the womb, Ectolife Growth Pods feature internal speakers that play a wide range of words and music to your baby. Through the app, you can choose the
Hell
playlist.
no, they program yo. This some robotic shit. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, what the fuck?
What they say? They say you can monitor your baby through your smart app, bro. That shit. Did they just say that shit? And why the girl was
Bro,
all
you,
up in the tub?
bro,
Why she look? Why the girl was in the tub? Looked like that robot just threw her back out. I can't help it, bro. Oh shit, I can't help it. Yo, did
hey,
she?
bro, what is this shit, dude? What is this shit?
Woo.
These people is crazy.
You know, one thing we got to do, we got to ask our females, just females in general, what they think about this because you know how they say artificial intelligence is gonna replace everybody with their jobs, right? And
Yeah,
they wanted to get rid of the word mother and call it birthing people, right? Because they want to implement this technology to get people used to it. I want to know what females think about this. Mothers around the world, you gonna get replaced. You gonna get replaced with this with the machine.
man, look,
Robo mom.
yeah, because women want to party, they working now, they got jobs, they could get money, they could do what they damn near what men do now. So it's like shit. What do you do?
And you know, some of them will use the kid against a nigga. So if they get cosmetic surgery, get fake tits, get fake some of them already doing the surrogacy thing. You know what I'm saying? I hate to
Yeah,
bring it up.
yeah, yeah. I heard
So
surrogacy shit before.
So who's to say that they, she's a, oh, bro, this how they gonna get it. She's too fucking busy to have a kid. She's too important. Now she can pay to have a kid. She don't need no man. This is why they programming this shit into these bitches, bro. Man, I hate to say that shit like that, but it is what, and I'm talking about bitches. And that's like a small percentage of good female, like it's a whole, the majority of them are good female. Cause
Bro, you
it's
already
some
been said it. You can't clear it up. You didn't call them
it's
bitches.
bitch ass niggas. It's some bitch ass niggas out here. It's real men.
You
They are
already
real. Look. Now I'm saying this. There's some real hard working women out here, and some of them don't work that hard, but they real women out here who understand what I meant when I say this is shit that they telling bitches. You feel me? I mean, think about it though. All this shit, it's the dash. It's right there. Not only the girl can't even go to the second job, flip some burgers, and the young man can't do that. Now they can't even have their own kid. They gonna call it donations. You're gonna give up. You're gonna donate your egg or donate your
that ain't
sperm.
gonna sit right with men because kids complete men. Like
Hmm.
like that's what make us like I don't know.
Like that shit pushes to a point that when we become the true adult, where we realize a lot of the shit we was telling our fucking, like, for our parents and the people we was listening to, once we become the father and adult, we realize that we have a higher responsibility, and that helps hone that shit in. You see what I'm saying? Especially as you helping a person experience their life, and they are you. They literally a piece of you walking around. So yeah, that shit ain't gonna sit right with men at all. And then what they say, Children of Men. That was the name of that movie where couldn't nobody had no more kids, right? Oh,
I
you
got
ain't see that one?
bro. No, you said it already. I ain't watch no shit like that.
Oh, okay. Basically, bottom line, it was a movie called Children of Men. Nobody can have kids no more, right? And it was like a young black lady, and she was pregnant, and the people found out, and they hid her away from all the other higher ups because they knew something was wrong. Basically, that I don't know. That was the movie. Yeah, some shit, right? And it was a black girl at that too. It was a white dude that found her. Yeah, you can't make this shit up, bro. Like, yeah, it's so much shit out here in the movies and stuff. They don't already told us what they about to do to our ass. They just told us in many different clever ways.
You a funny dude, man. You a
Think
funny.
about it. Think about it. You know how quick a bitch would be like, "Yeah, I'm a boss bitch. I don't need no man. I got the perfect baby. He gonna come out with the good hair and the this and that. And man, come on now. You know bro. And I hate to say this shit, but that shit makes us look bad. That shit makes us look ignorant. It's a form of self hate, and people be laughing and profiting off of this shit, and our people be like, yeah, like, yo, that's terrible, bro. Nah, I'm not having no machine test tube baby that's been reprogrammed inside the brain. Now, there's things called shit. I should have wrote it down, but basically there are patents, real patents for, like, like psychologically changing people, and one of them has a thing to where they attack electrodes to your skull and it can do things like you heard of Neuralink and stuff like this, where they'll be able to integrate, like, basically in that movie Matrix, right? Neo was sitting down at a computer. He was like, "Oh shit, I know kung fu." That shit put that in his brain, and he was able to do that with Neo, with Morpheus when they was having that kung fu scene.
So
So
that's
look at
what
it,
I'm saying. It's uh,
augmented reality,
uh,
right?
no.
Not that per se, but these
It's
things they introduce.
all it's all mental game.
Yeah, yeah, mental.
Mental. This shit is listen. What if we remember that one cartoon I showed you the other day when we the last one and dude went inside like he put his face inside and it was like a coochie and he put his face inside
Yo,
it.
how they get away with that? I do not know, bro.
Listen. When he
Yeah,
put
yeah,
his
I'm
face
listening.
inside it, it shoots his soul to a planet and he become whatever avatar he can pick whatever avatar he want to be and go to whatever planet and it'll shoot it. He'll put his head through the thing, and it'll shoot his soul. And then when he done, he'll go back, and then he'll come pop back out of it, like and go back to outer space because he was saying he'll go to these different planets, telling people that he got a podcast, and they'll just tell him some deep shit, just like how the dude was breaking down solar consciousness and solar bodies. Like when you die, there's a second death. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, your heart doesn't weigh light as a feather, then you go through this energy process where your soul goes through this some type of decomposing thing, and then you come back out as pure energy into something else. So it's like I gotta figure this shit out, gang, because I ain't.
So
You
so I got a quick question
know
for
what
you.
I'm
So
saying?
the dude that went in through the shit, you saying he got like a podcast or something? Like,
I'll pull it up. It's a cartoon. They put it in the cartoon.
nah, I seen it with you, but I'm talking about like, so what is he
What is it
doing in
called?
this room?
Uh,
Like that room he in before he goes to those places? Like,
I
what is he
forgot.
doing in that room?
I forgot what it was called. Damn, hold on. It's called Midnight Sun. Let me find it. Oh yeah, Midnight Gospel. It's the best one. Dude be breaking some shit down. I'll play it right here. Let me see. It was by the rocks. Here we go.
But you said he had like a podcast or something?
So look, I'm gonna show you the beginning, and then I'm gonna. So this is his podcast. You got the pyramid, all the symbolism and shit. But this is podcast, and he can pick different planets to go to. Let me see.
Okay. So I did hear that right. He got a podcast. And it's funny that they call it the
Hold
Midnight
on, hold on.
Gospel.
Look,
Yeah.
look,
Master, did you
look.
get a chance to read the Universe Simulator FAQ I left in your inbox?
No. Do you have
Look, Universe Simulator FAQ, like a simulator. Come on, bro. He can go to all these different planets and explore 'em. Look, this a flat Earth. You see what I'm saying? They be putting little symbols and shit. Like I don't know,
a planet that has ice cream on it?
but
Here
then
we go. Cream ice cream.
fast
Scan it.
forward.
Hitting ice cream
Okay,
scan.
Perfect. I
but
got some ice
he
These new
picked.
av-
cream. Yeah, all
Dude,
that
smart
milk.
as hell. You gonna be
avatar
talking to him.
B.
He pick. See, look right there. See, it look just like a coochie.
Yeah,
See what I'm
that's
saying?
definitely what it is. And they
Then he
explain
gonna
it to
put
you.
his. Then he gonna put his head in there, and then it's gonna shoot his consciousness to the what you call it. It's gonna shoot his consciousness straight to that planet. So when I thought of that, I'm like, damn, what the fuck? Like that's like, they telling us something, G. But listen to this.
Say control tower and reaching out. Do you mean that you are doing some form of astral projection or some kind of?
That is part of magic. And I don't like that word actually, but I don't know another word to use, astral projection, just because it sounds so kind of flaky and new agey. In our society now, well, not just our society in the West, but also in the East, we've sort of arrived at this conclusion somehow. Spirituality has become so watered down that we think enlightenment is the be all and the end all of spiritual practice. It's the finish line. It's not. There are actually things that come after that. What we think of as enlightenment is the first step in a process. In magic, what they call in the East enlightenment, we call solar consciousness. Solar consciousness means that you are completely and absolutely in the present moment, just like whenever you achieve enlightenment. After you develop solar consciousness, the next step in this process is developing what we call the solar body. You are building a vehicle to allow your consciousness to not disintegrate at the point of what we call the second death. The first death is when the physical body dies. The second death is whenever your astral or etheric body begins to unravel. That's whenever your consciousness goes through this sort of cosmic washing machine. Every aspect of personality is washed out of it. You're left with a kernel of pure energy, which is then recycled into something else. If you develop the solar body, that doesn't happen. You put your consciousness into the solar body at the moment of death. You then become not entirely, not exactly the same, but your consciousness is then completely unbroken for eternity. From that point on, you can come into the physical realm when, where, and how you choose, if you choose to do so. The point is to help other people complete this process. You know, Beethoven said that the point of being alive, the point of being human, is to approach divinity as closely as you possibly can and then disseminate those rays out to mankind. Hold that thought.
You know what I'm saying? So he was saying what you said earlier, like get all the way up there and then disseminate those rays back down to mankind. Like, bro, it's a never ending cycle.
Now, let me tell you something that goes into something else that we were saying. Now, if you
Hold on,
listen
wait,
to him,
before you say that, notice he
go ahead.
said magic in the Western world is
Mhm.
solar consciousness in the Eastern world.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing he said your solar body, but if you listen to him, he said your etheric body or your ethereal body, right?
Same difference.
No. I'm going to say with this, right? Now, our internet used to be the Ethernet. There used to be this word called ether, and we still got an ether cable, right?
Right.
So instead of saying your ethereal body, he said the solar body. Now they said the Egyptians were sun worshippers. They say the Freemasons and the Illuminati are sun worshippers, but that ain't what it is. It's the enlightenment part, which is the first step. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying going to that occultic shit, but what I'm saying is it's more of the mental, the spiritual, the higher dimensions that we're not even taught this stuff to even understand it. You see what I'm saying? But it's there.
Look,
The shit exists. Water, air, and the light, it exists, even though we don't understand how it works. But that goes into the workings of something that's way more complex. That's probably simply for us to understand, but we just don't understand the shit. And they ain't been taught this
look,
shit.
you say it's a hold on, let me show this shit. The etheric body, ether body, or ether body is the subtle body. Hold on.
Let's just say subtle. Now hold on. Now let me go into something, right?
Hold
Now
on,
it's
bro.
fun. Go ahead. Now break that down, but after that, let me go back to subtle after you finish. But I'm gonna let you break that down though. Go ahead.
Propounding esoteric philosophy of the first or lowest layer. Nah, bro. What's your theory on etheric body?
All right, now that one's a little bit different, but I'm gonna explain it to you real fast and simple, right? In the book of Genesis, where it says that they ate from the tree, and then God said, "Hey, why y'all hiding?" And it's because the people said we naked. He was like, "Who told you y'all was naked?" Now, the thing is, they was in their spiritual, solar, etheric bodies, not of flesh. So when they said, "Hey, who told you was naked?" and when he put clothes on them, that was human going into the flesh. Now let me tell you something.
It don't
It
make no
said,
goddamn sense.
I know it don't make sense. I know it don't make
Bro,
sense.
if they got an etheric body, why would they just put clothes? Who would tell them that they naked and then they just put some clothes on, then they just become a human?
Nah, when they
That's
ate from the tree, you know how they say you are what you eat? When they ate from the wrong tree, it gave them the flesh. Without eating that shit, like, okay, like there's certain vitamins and
bro,
stuff
that's
in your
not a
body.
literal story, bro. That's not a literal story, bro. They learned the knowledge, bro.
Yeah, and I know
They-
that, but like I say, I'm using it.
bro,
I'm using it as an example.
listen, they got wisdom, bro. They got knowledge and wisdom, bro. And then they realized that they was naked. They realized they started feeling energies, all that shit, bro. It wasn't they learned, bro. It wasn't no biting of an apple gang. That's just like
I
it's
mean, I
like
get that. I get the simple story.
esoteric.
It ain't no white dude and white lady, but and then if I explain it, it sound a little bit more controversial. But basically, and then when it says it's the subtle body, right? And when they explain the devil, whatever, the one who tricked us, it says he was the most subtle beast in the field. So it was like the trick into us becoming a lower dimensional being. So when we think of these fourth dimensional beings, look at it as we're fifth to seventh dimensional beings, but because we messed up, we was putting into a lower vibration than the adversary, the enemy. And it sounds stupid, but it
Look,
would make sense.
look. And what was that? He said the subtle body, right?
Hmm
It says a quasi-material aspect of the human body, being neither solely physical nor solely spiritual, according to various esoteric, occult, and mystical teachings. This contrasts with the mind-body dualism that has dominated Western thought. The subtle body. Hold on, let's click on this. The subtle body is important in the Taoism of China, Dharmic religions, Hinduism, Buddhism. What I tell you? What I tell you? Hinduism. What do they do in Hindu and Buddhism? They reincarnate.
And that go back to what the fishbowl guy was explaining. He said that
This shit evil, gang.
you remember he was explaining
Evil.
it from the Western to the Eastern school of thought, and he said over here in the Eastern school of thought, we just think of it as enlightenment, but that's just the first path to it. When he was speaking about the Western or the East, that's the other one he was talking about. You get what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
type of
What was
shit.
the? What was the? Hold on.
Oh, but the subtle
Hold on.
body,
Hold
the
on. Hold on. Hold on, gang. Which one? Which? What you say?
Nah, the one I was talking about, it's in Genesis that it says the devil, whatever, Lucifer, he was the most subtle
I
beast.
remember reading that. I remember it.
So you got to
Sub-
put in subtle
yeah,
beast.
right here.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
hold on, gang. It was Genesis 3:1. Let me see.
Basically, it says subtle beast.
Right. But sometimes you gotta look at the
See, where it says the most cunning than any other beast, it says
yeah.
it's really the original shit. Yeah, you got to put KJV.
What I say? Oh, it was 3:1, right?
Yeah, 3-1. It switched it up on you though. I seen that
Didn't
you.
you? You
Yeah,
seen
bro,
that?
that shit switched it up on you, bro.
Look, right here, bam. More subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God have made. So if he made everything and he was subtle,
Meaning that beast was more physical and spiritual than any other beast. That shit. You see what I'm saying? That makes sense, right?
this shit evil, gang.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That yeah, yeah. Obviously that, especially with some of them shits they be showing. Yo, that one statue I seen, that shit, I swear that shit is a haunted video, bro.
Will he realize we breaking this shit down like
Oh yeah, yeah, we definitely broke down some higher level shit that, and it's not easily. Not only is it not easily thought of and imagined, let alone explained and for people to be able to understand it. But yeah, it's one of them
yeah, man.
things.
Let's wrap it up. Shit, it's 2 hours on this.
Oh shit, we down there two, yeah, 2.5. Hey, oh
Man, it's
yeah,
deep,
this was
but we don't want to long winded because we got some good shit in here. We want people to really
mhm,
go back and watch it.
most definitely. But
We got some good shit in here.
I'm gonna end it with this. This was a good build. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Thank y'all. Hit that like, share, subscribe, hit your community page, all that good stuff. Go research something, find out something, make a video. Let us learn something from us. We ain't the smartest niggas up here. We just trying to learn something and trying to give y'all what it is. But that's about all I got to say in all knowledge. I'm gonna send you a link to this jank because it's got something to do with that baby jank you was showing earlier, which is
They
kind of funny.
backstage.
I got you. I got you. Well, I might just send you a message, you know what I'm saying? Because it might take me a little while to find that shit. Seen that shit like yesterday, but yeah,
All
PC.
right, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. You already know, man. Keep that mind sharp. And I'm gonna see y'all till next time. Peace.